Hey man, he was in my face.
I'm in your face.
It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
I don't have friends. I got family.
Yes, vroom, vroom, and welcome to Fast Friends, presented by the NBA. That's Game. The boys are back, breaking down every film from the Fast and Furious franchise on deck today. The fifth movie in the series, conveniently titled Fast 5. I'm J.E. Skeets, always fast, sometimes furious, along with our FF expert, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
Hey! Yo! We got our super producer, JD.
Hello.
There he is, and you see him here on YouTube, our special guest today, bringing him back like your favorite characters in Fast 5. It's former Starters producer and our good friend, Matty O. What's up, bud?
What's up? Call me Sweaty Letty.
So excited to have you joining us here for Fast 5. Why this one, Matt?
Well, this is the one you asked me on. Thank God you didn't ask me on a later one, because I had to watch 5 movies in the last, 3 days.
Oh,
Wow,
are you
went
serious?
backstory. I love it.
Well, I couldn't just come on. First of all, I listened to all your podcasts, so that was, a lot of content.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I don't want to repeat stuff that
honestly
you
didn't
said.
feel comfortable just watching Fast 5, coming on and shooting the shit for an hour and a half about it? You had to go back, watch all 4 previous movies, listen to all 4 podcasts. It's insane.
Do you hear me speaking with an Australian accent? Do I look like Lee Ellis?
Oh my God, it's amazing. So different. You're so different. Well, we are.
Did you watch Los Bandoleros and the turbocharged prelude to Too Fast, Too Furious? Are you a real sicko?
No, I'm not a real
Good.
sicko.
Good.
I heard you guys talking about them, and I thought, that's not for me. And I should say, I did not watch Too Fast, Too Furious. I merely watched a YouTube recap, and then I listened to the podcast. Because I knew that was going to be the worst one, and I had other things to do.
Have you seen all of these movies before? Like when they came out?
No, that's my point.
Wow, you had never ever seen. Okay.
So weirdly, the only one I've ever seen was Tokyo Drift.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because
Big Han fan.
Yeah, when we were when we'd travel, do family trips outside of Canada, because we didn't have HBO in Canada, as 3 of you or 2 of you will remember. So and we go to a hotel, a motel, I'd turn that TV on, and if there was HBO, I would be in front of it all day and all night. And one time, Tokyo Drift was on, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll watch whatever it is they're programming here. Cool. And so I saw that, and I knew that everyone said this film is an aberration. It's not like the other ones, and I didn't mind it, but I don't know why I just never felt the urge to check out these. Probably because I fucking hate cars.
Wow. Well, maybe we'll tackle that as we go on here on Fast Friends. If you're a friend of Fast Friends, thank you. Keep tweeting in your thoughts at NoDunksInc on Twitter. Email in your questions, nodunks@theathletic.com. Put Fast Friends in the little subject header there. Make it easier for us. And if you haven't already, leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts, and or subscribe to No Dunks on YouTube. That stuff really helps us out. Okay, so you're not a gearhead. You hadn't seen a lot of these. You've done a bunch of homework, though, over the last little while, catching up on these movies. Let's get into it. We're going to break it down. I know you got something special in store on this show a little bit later, Matty-O. But it is Fast 5, spring of 2011. That's when they released this one. So we're a decade in, I guess, in the series, TK. The first one, I think, was 2001.
That's
so that's
right.
where we are with Fast 5. Budget, $125 million. Box office, $626 million worldwide. One of the best movies, I believe, of that year in 2011 in terms of just box office gross. The Skinny, Dominic Toretto and his crew of street racers plan a massive heist to buy their freedom while in the sights of a powerful Brazilian drug lord and a dangerous federal agent. It stars everybody. Of course, Vin Diesel. Of course, Paul Walker, Jordana Brewster, Tyrese, Ludacris, Sung Kang, who is Han, Galgadot, The Rock. It goes on and on and on. I mean, this is amazing, and we'll get to that scene when the whole band gets back together. But once again, this was directed by Justin Lin, his third in a row. You saw the first one. You saw Tokyo Drift. Justin hung around for FF4, and here he is for Fast 5. So you never saw this when it first came out, but we always start by asking Trey, who is the true sicko here of Fast Friends, what do you remember spring 2011? I gotta assume with The Rock being in this, Trey Kirby was definitely going to see this in theaters.
Opening night, dog. Back to the AMC Yorktown Cinemas with my man Adam. And we were unsure this morning going through it. Did Tony Porro come with us? Or was that to the Expendables? It's hard to remember at this point, but of course I was hyped, Skeets. I already loved Fast and Furious. The fourth one came out, re-energized the series. Now they're adding The Rock. I love them from wrestling. I saw The Mummy Returns. I saw Scorpion King in theaters. I saw Be Cool in theaters. I loved The Other Guys. He had a tiny role in The Other Guys, but he crushed it. It seemed like The Rock was going to be the perfect fit for this. And I think he was.
Yeah.
So I was, the expectations were sky high, and they still exceeded it. I love it.
JD, after FF4, on that podcast, we did talk about, like, the direction is changing here. We're getting away from the street racing, just talking about the cars and how fast they are. And we are getting into this whole idea of, Ocean's 11, what else? Like the heist movies of yesteryear, and that they're just going to lean into this, and that's exactly what this movie is. Are you a fan of that?
It's a great question. I mean, I not really, to be honest. Only because this franchise, I've realized it really inspires me to want to watch other movies. Like this movie made me want to watch Ocean's 11 or one of the Macquarie Mission Impossible movies.
Sure.
Or, you know what I mean? Or even The Fugitive. There's a lot of Fugitive in here. In fact, I think I read, I don't know if this is true, was Tommy Lee Jones supposed to play Hobbs originally?
That was the original casting idea.
It's the same character. Like, exactly. If it was Tommy Lee Jones, it would literally just him and his team just plopped from The Fugitive into this movie, which would have been weird. That would have been crazy that The Fugitive and Fast and Furious would be in the same universe, right?
Ooh, yeah.
But
I want you to search every car garage,
Penthouse,
factory,
outhouse,
doghouse, hen house. I was trying to think of other places you keep cars, and I could only come up with
Did you say garage?
Factory, driveway.
But yeah, I mean, like
Yep. Yeah.
These movies, I've just got. This is my problem with it. It's like Pantomime, and I mean that in the British sense, right? Where it's just over the top, super earnest, but that kind of thing works for satire and comedy, but it doesn't work for action and drama for me. Like it's just so incredibly cringe to me when they, all of it is just too much for me. And I never once think or believe that I'm not watching a movie. Like I'm always just, okay, well, this is fun. And I have fun sitting there wisecracking with Jackson and going, wow, this is crazy, or that was stupid, or whatever. But I'm never like, white knuckling it and going, holy shit. Like, but I have mad respect for the stunts and the spectacle of the thing. But I will never, I don't think, get into any of these movies. And looking ahead at 5 more of these things, I'm just like, oh my God.
But you're saying when you watched Ocean's 11, you're like, 100% I'm watching guys rob a casino here.
No, I feel like it's just done better. All due respect to Justin Lin, he's no Steven Soderbergh, you know what I mean? And like, it's just that sort of self-awareness. It's hard to do. I mean, yeah. It's a fair point, Trey. But I'm having way more fun watching Ocean's 11 because it doesn't take itself so seriously. Fast and Furious absolutely takes itself
Fast and serious.
Incredibly serious, and it just doesn't work. I mean, it's like I'm gonna confess something to you guys, and you probably know this about me. Maybe you don't. I hate wrestling. Like I hate wrestling.
Yeah.
It's and it's the same problem. It's just super earnest, and I know that it's staged. I have respect for the stunts.
What? No, it's not.
It is staged to me. I'm sorry. But and one of my favorite sports movies is about wrestling, and it's great. But I
Wait, which movie? The Wrestler?
It's called no. It's called Fighting with My Family. Ever heard of this?
With a Paige in it.
Paige,
It came
yeah.
out recently, I think,
she was
right?
just
I think it's
hanging
got
out
a
with
Rock
Renee
cameo in it, maybe. Yeah.
That's right. The Rock's in it. He's one of the
Yeah.
producers, actually, and he's great in it. It's awesome. But you know, I think I was never allowed to watch wrestling as a kid. Like, my dad hated wrestling. Like, he hated it. He was a cop. He would go do pay duties at Maple Leaf Gardens. And the worst... And
he would have loved the Big Boss Man.
He hated... It wasn't the wrestling. He hated the fans. The worst thing you could be called by my dad, to this day, is a wrestling fan. He's like, oh, you know why Trump got elected? Wrestling fans. The wrestling fans came out in droves. And it's still... so maybe that scarred me, but...
Yeah, I think so.
I just can't get into it. You know, I enjoy movies. I love movies. But if I'm not engaged enough to be like, you know, like, I want to be in it. I want to forget that I'm watching a movie, and that will never happen with these movies. That said, this was kind of fun to watch.
Well, I was worried, Matt, when I started watching this and got like halfway through. I was like, is there going to be a podcast here? Like, have we reached a point in this like franchise or this series? Like, it felt like the first couple movies, having never seen them, of course, they're of course silly. There's these weird lines. There's like this weird, obviously, plot. And I was just like, this now is just an action movie. And I'm like, yeah, there are some funny lines, and we're going to go through the whole damn thing here. But I was like, uh-oh. Have we reached a part of the franchise where this may not make it for a good podcast series? Now, we'll find out whether I'm right or wrong, but... Any concern, you think, after just watching it and going, okay, you know, what first impression, I guess, is what I'm getting at with you here.
Well, my biggest concern when you asked me to come on and talk about it was that I was really not going to like it, because I don't want to just come on and yuck someone's yum, so to speak. But, you know, the top line is, this is a perfectly fine, good action movie.
Yes.
So don't worry, if you're listening to this, I thought it was good.
Okay.
But I, you know, just want to say that because maybe I came in a little hot off the top. But I was also saying that I don't know anything about these movies, but I did want to show you that I have some Fast and the Furious credentials. So I'm watching Fast and Furious 1, and before Dominic Toretto even pulls up to Toretto's Market, I'm like, Leo pointing me, I'm like, he's in Angelino Heights, which is, you know, like blocks from my house. So... I run by it all the time. So yesterday I ran by it. Of course, the one day I go to take the picture, there's like 2 trucks parked out front of it. But there's Toretto's Market, as you could see.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
You get the tuna?
They make a wonderful tuna sandwich.
Really? I hear nobody likes the tuna.
yeah. And I wouldn't want to go for a run and stop midway and have some tuna.
Tuna
Wow.
Toretto's.
It was, first of all, Skeets, you'll know the pain. When I was running, I had to take my phone with me to take that picture.
Oh,
so
wow,
that was the big sacrifice I made, because I was moving so fast. And actually, just think about it now, that's why I referred to myself as Sweaty Letty off the top, because I'm running and sweating in the picture, which a joke that really no one could get. Okay, so yeah, here's Toretto's Market.
Oh, yeah, I know. The forehead's pretty sweaty.
Yeah, there's some beats.
Some waves there.
So let's jump ahead here, JD. And okay, here's
Sweaty Letty
Wow.
for sure in this one.
Yeah, Sweaty Letty. Just this is a block away from Toretto's Market, is the Toretto family estate.
Wow. And like, okay, do people know this?
Oh yeah, because I knew the house was in the area, but I Googled it, and it's everywhere. It's 722 East Kensington, I think.
Okay.
You could see behind me there's like a no trespassing sign, and then you can barely make it out, but like where the stairs are, there's actually a wire, like a chain wire across before you even get to the gate, and there's a placard on it that's like private property.
Wow. And if you got close enough and just listened closely, could you hear Vince strumming a guitar?
Yeah, just in case someone walked by the window like me and said, hey, that guy's going to make it one day.
Just noodling a little bit. Okay. Wow. So this is right in your area. I don't know how far you're running nowadays, but not that far.
No, this is very close. Like
Wow.
5 minutes away.
So you have a connection.
Are people like street racing in front of this house? That would be like a great way to pay homage, right?
So what I'm putting this all together now. I mean, this has nothing, one has nothing to do with the other, but that house is like a block away from Sunset, which is sort of the main artery that goes through Echo Park and through basically all of Los Angeles. And there is a huge car culture scene here, especially like seemingly in the Latino community. So sometimes I'll be coming home and they'll be like, the streets will be packed. Like people will be kind of like standing on the street. And you're like, what's going on? Like, was there an accident? And it's like literally a chain of lowriders doing the hydraulics thing, like it's the still DRE video.
Oh, nice.
And people are just like, going nuts. And you know what? They're right, because it's pretty cool.
Cool. Yeah.
And I think it's every Sunday they have, they have like a, I don't know, parade, a showcase or something right on Sunset. And that is like literally where they are, a block from the Fast and Furious house, which I don't think one has anything to do with the other, but yeah.
Okay.
It's all happening. If you like cars, this is the place to be.
And
that's why I picked it.
We are talking about Fast 5 here, and we're sort of going back here, and you're showing us like these incredible, scenes here from the first one, I guess. You also said offline to us that you have been to, what was it, Neptune's Net?
I would have also done a picture of that, but it's too far. That's
okay,
like
but
an hour and 20
you've eaten
minutes.
there.
Oh yeah, I've eaten there.
Shrimp?
It's not good. It's not good. Here's the thing I'll say about it.
Yeah.
It's just north of Malibu. It's in Ventura County. And if you're out there, I would definitely recommend going because it is an absolute scene and it's cool and you're right next to the ocean and it's beautiful. And eat the food and just don't have high expectations for it. If you want better food from a similar seaside shack, I would recommend going a little further south to Malibu Seafood, which sounds fancy, but it's not fancy.
Okay, good to know. Have you been to, I was going to say Rio de Janeiro, but I think most of this was shot in Puerto Rico, actually. But any Brazilian ties here as we get into Fast 5?
Zero Brazilian ties, but if I went to Rio de Janeiro, I guarantee you I'd be watching HBO.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Into Fast 5. We'll take this basically scene by scene here. Again, shout out to Wikipedia for helping us out with the breakdown. This movie starts, as most of you, I'm sure, listening and watching, if you've been following Fast Friends, it starts where FF4 ends, which we were excited about. I remember talking about, they're coming to break out Dom. Dominic Toretto, he's being transported to prison. He's on a bus. And at the end of FF4 into Fast 5, whatever the heck we're calling these, his sister Mia and Brian O'Connor, Paul Walker, they lead an assault on the bus, freeing Dom. And then while the authorities are searching for them, they escape to Rio de Janeiro. That's how we get there. But boom, just like all these movies, Trey, we got an action-packed scene. It was a bus this time, not a truck like it usually is. But what did you think of the opening action scene here?
Hit you right in the face. Fast 5 is back. I love it. We're picking up immediately after we left off. That's pretty crazy. You're even seeing the very same scenes that were in in the end of Fast 4. My favorite part of this whole thing, of this whole plan to rescue Dom from the prison transport, is that as it happens, the bus, or I guess the bus, is going flipping like crazy. They eventually get him out and they're showing it on the TV, and you can hear the TV voiceover says, "Amazingly resulted in no fatalities."
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for throwing that in so that we know that these are good guys. They're not letting the actual criminals get away. We're just getting the one criminal that we like. We're getting him out of here. The rest of the criminals are staying put. I thought that was a hilarious part, but I mean, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. We've talked a few times about like if they had tried to use these preludes or these short films as the intro scene to a movie, because that's the only place that it would really fit. This, they didn't even bother. They're like, we've got 2 movies here. We just chopped it in half and we'll run back the first one. Gives you a lot of energy heading into Fast 5 for sure.
Oh my God. To set the scene here, I was watching Fast 5 in a different location, in a different country completely.
Wow.
Where the HBO sucks.
Couldn't watch it on HBO.
Yeah, up here in Canada. I think I was watching it, I want to say on Prime. A little Amazon there, I think. It was a rental, $4.99. Shout out to Lori for the account. Watching it at my in-laws' house, and my mother-in-law had seen it. Nora's watching it. Lori's actually there too, Nora's sister. And when I watch a movie, I mean, Nora and I both, I'm not a big lights off everywhere in the room to watch a movie. I don't need to pretend we're at the theater. I'm fine with a lamp on. I'm fine. I don't need to do this damage to my eyes and all that. Also, I tend to watch a movie at a pretty normal volume level, I think. Well, not Lori. Lori wanted lights off, volume cranked. Is the loudest I've ever watched a movie. And my God, JD, this first scene where the bus is like flipping 100 times, somehow everybody survives. Like, this was a crazy cool scene, but holy shit, was it loud for me. But I was into it. Like all these movies, they've done an incredible job. The first scene of like generally hooking you, I think, of like, okay, well, there's some budget here to play with. We're gonna blow up a bunch of things, and they go on to blow up a whole bunch more in this movie. But what did you think of the first scene?
What did I think? I thought it was great. I loved seeing that completely empty bus going over and over and over. Again, it's is anyone surviving that crash? I mean, who cares, right? I mean, it's about the spectacle, and it was cool, and I enjoyed it. And Justin Lin is very, very, very good. I don't know if it's Justin Lin or the stunt coordinator, but however they do these things, and I think most of these things are practical effect. Like there's no CGI in that particular scene. It's just literally a bus flipping over and over and over, and it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I know it's I know you're not going to get the reference, JD, or your dad is definitely going to hate the reference, but this movie is like sort of a Royal Rumble where we just keep getting the old timers back. Like it's the clock counts down, and then it's like, oh, who's coming out behind the curtain? Oh my God, it's Vince! Vince draws number 1 in the Royal Rumble.
Vince is back
because that is where we head to. We are now awaiting Dom's arrival. What happened here? They freed him and then they split up immediately. Is that right?
I guess
they'd be looking for 3 people together. Skeets, that's the problem.
Right.
They're gonna be looking for the 3 of us. I'm going my way. You go your 2 way.
Yeah.
In that first scene, I don't know if you guys know who this is, but the first announcer they go to that's talking about the crash is Perd Hapley. Mm-hmm. Do you watch Parks and Rec? Mm-hmm. So on Parks and Rec, there is a sort of minor tertiary character that is a TV newscaster. Okay. And the joke is that he's like a hilariously kind of inept broadcaster, but it's the same guy playing the broadcaster.
Oh,
but,
wow.
I mean, I understand it's the same guy, but he's using the same voice with the same cadence, with the same affect. And Parks and Rec was on TV at this point already. So I get... Was he on Parks and Rec and then used that as his audition tape for like, listen, I could be a newscaster? And then if it's the same character, does that mean that like Leslie Knope and all of them exist in the Fastiverse?
Oh, that's what I thought you were getting at. Yeah, for sure it does. Yes.
I think so.
That's
Wow.
exciting.
So.
That's very exciting.
Theory. I love it.
Well, so, okay, they have split up to then go to Rio de Janeiro. They're waiting Dom's arrival. Mia and Brian, they stumble upon Vince. Yes, he is alive. Arm looking good, I would say, right? Like he
looking all right.
Nearly lost that
great.
digit, and it was he looked good.
Great. Yeah.
He looked good.
He's been flourishing.
Last time we saw him, he was wearing 2 tank tops at the same time.
That's right.
I do like that when we first see Vince, the first thing he says, Buster.
Yeah.
What a throwback. Thanks for throwing it in, Vince. Come on, Ann.
They're there. Yep. Vincent and these other friends of his. That now they got to do a job though, and it's just like right into it. Man, we just escaped from the authorities, and we got to go right into trying to steal these cars.
We haven't even eaten.
That's right. And Vince is usually hungry.
That's right.
But that's the whole point.
Yeah.
That they're like so haggard and tired, and they can't eat, and their clothes are all tattered. They need the money.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And perfect timing. We got some cars to steal from a train. Which I guess if Tommy Lee Jones was in this movie as The Rock, he could add that. You know, you check every car garage, parking lot, train. People are like, train? Would cars be on a train? Just check it.
Trust me.
So...
hold on.
go
Mia
ahead.
reveals that she's pregnant, right?
She doesn't reveal it.
Oh, come on.
To the audience, perhaps. To the audience.
You barf on, if you're a woman and you barf on screen, you're pregnant. It's that. And if you cough and you're any character, you're going to die. That's it. Those are the rules, man.
But I say that because there'll be like at least 2 other scenes where she's trying to tell Brian that she's pregnant, and it of course gets interrupted. I also want to point out, you guys have been talking, because I was listening to the podcast, like, oh, Corona, oh, we got to get Coronas for this show. I see JD has one. they sit down for this scene where they meet Vince, and they're all drinking beer, and I'm like, well, what's going on here? That's not Corona.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
they're in
a it's a Brahma.
Oh, he's got himself a Brahma.
It's a Brahma? Named after The Rock's Brahma Bull tattoo?
It's
That'd be surprising.
it's the Brazilian Corona.
What do you actually got in there?
Oh.
Like kombucha or something?
No, it's a Bud Light. It's a Brahma Light.
It is weird though. Like, what happened to them leaning into the Corona angle?
Didn't get the
Well, Matt, you
sponsorship.
also shared with us an infographic regarding how many Coronas are drank on screen during the franchise. They come back to Coronas too. They just had to leave them behind in Brazil, I suppose. Like, go for the Brahmas.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have Corona in Rio.
I was wondering that too, but that seems Come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more thing I wanted to point out about Rio. So first shot we get is that establishing shot of the Christ the Redeemer, which is standard for if anything's going to be set in Brazil. But it was a long shot, and JD had me, it reminded me of when you were talking about how Justin Lin told Vin Diesel that he was Jesus.
Yeah.
And then first thing we get
Oh yeah.
before we see Dom is a long shot of Jesus.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it has a chain on too, a giant chain on the statue. Yeah.
Dom the Redeemer.
Dom the Redeemer.
Sounds good.
Good call. That was a long shot. You're right. That's what they're driving home there. Well, we are now right to the train scene here, and this is pretty amazing, I will say. Pretty weird way to like break some cars off of a train, but cool nonetheless. Brian and Mia discover that agents from the DEA are also on that train, and that the cars are seized property. That's what they figure out here. Dom arrives. He's there. We're back, baby. He's got his team, his own accomplices. And then they realize, though, that the leader, who I think is named ZZ,
Yep.
yeah, he's only interested in stealing one car. They're stealing multiple cars, but he's really only interested in the Ford GT40. Beautiful car, by the way. So Dom, like, he calls an audible. He basically is like to his sister, you steal that car. It's not going with ZZ and his boys. Tells her to take off, basically, and then we get the huge fight between Dom and Brian, and then ZZ and his henchmen, during which ZZ kills the DEA agents assigned to the vehicles. Giant scene, crazy scene, JD. What did you think about the technique of how to take a car off a moving train, though, and how they go about it?
I mean, I thought it was kind of cool, to be honest. I could have done without all of the lead up, like seeing it, go up and down and race towards the train. Like, all right, we were just off-roading in this weird vehicle, fine. But that scene I found incredibly confusing. I did not understand I couldn't read their body language. I couldn't understand what the problem was. You're stealing the cars. ZZ wants this car. So Dom's like, oh, he wants that car? Well, I guess we're stealing that car, but aren't they all working together,
Right.
So I was very, very confused. So
What I was confused about is... Let me just do a quick role play with myself here. Let me play with myself for a second. If someone comes to you and goes, I need to steal these cars, and they're on a train, and they're guarded by DEA agents, and it's going to be a really tough mission, but I'm hiring you because you're the best, and these are super valuable cars, okay? They're very important to me. I mean, never mind that we're later going to find out that they weren't important, but to them, as far as they know, these are very expensive, very important cars.
yeah.
They're like, yep, okay, cool. Yeah, no, we can do that. Okay, you sure? Because it's going to be very dangerous. Yeah, no, we can definitely do it. Okay, so since the cars are so expensive and important to me, I assume you have like some sort of cargo thing to put the cars in, and then you'll drive the cargo thing to us. And he's like, oh, no, we're not going to do that. Oh, well, what do you mean? Well, we're going to drive the cars. Are you going to drive the cars I'm hiring you to steal? Yeah. Oh, so you're going to drive them like super gently on like normal terrain. Oh, no, sir. We will be speeding them over desert, sand, rocks, stones, shrubbery.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, go ahead anyway. Like,
Yeah.
you need a better way to steal a car than driving the very car you're stealing. If someone wants the car. Now, again, in the end, we find out they don't want the car, but...
Yeah, but in this world, every drug lord works exclusively with speed racing drivers. So if you're asking your associate, who is guaranteed to be a speed racing driver, to steal your car, you have to expect they're going to drive them. They have yet to say, hey, steal me those cars as a transport, right? Like put them onto a bus and we'll ship them somewhere. If you're telling somebody to steal a car, they're joyriding. We've all seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That's what happens. When you get in somebody else's car, you're driving it as fast as you possibly can, sometimes on the road, sometimes off the road.
Yeah.
And sometimes into a river.
Well,
that's right.
Yeah, that's how this scene ends. But I loved the just... And I'm with you, JD. I did find everything a little confusing. Like, with the help of Wikipedia there, breaking it down, it made a little more sense. But I'm not even sure I knew how they picked up that they were like, of course they saw the cops on the train, but then like the link to the cars and then why one of them was so important, like how quickly it was all happening was a little confusing. Though I loved the cars coming sideways off the train onto that
loader
truck, the loader. Yeah. That just looked cool.
It was cool. It was very cool. I also appreciated them trying to inject logic into what was happening. Like the DEA agent, when they realize the train's being robbed, one of them yells, "Don't stop the train no matter what happens." Right?
Yeah.
That's our number one complaint all
Never
the time.
stop.
Just
That's
stop.
right.
Why don't they just stop? But nope. You can't.
Whatever happens, don't stop the train.
There's no
It
reason.
seems like a good idea to actually stop it and see what's happening.
Yeah. But anyways, that's I appreciated that little throwaway line. Okay, they don't want them to stop, so they're not going to stop. But why aren't they not stopping? Who knows? But yeah, it's good.
Well, I think what happens that tips them off is they see the cops on the train, right? And then Brian is like looking, like punches out the thing and is looking through the keys.
Yeah.
Just recognizes the keychain.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Oh, these are DEA keys.
Right.
That's weird. And then, they got that little bit of doubt in their mind. Suddenly the gun's going off and the DEA agent finally looks and says, we're not stopping this train. But, if, I guess, the original criminals, if they hadn't pulled any guns, the DEA would have never even looked. Like, they would have had no reason to check outside because they were just cruising along. They had, by the time the agents found out, 2 of the 3 cars were already long gone.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like, just keep it cool. You had it. You had it under wraps, but somebody got a little antsy with the gun.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, yeah, they can hear the gunshot. Can't hear the side of the train being ripped off.
Yes.
Cars being fired up and ripped out the side of it. Yeah, no, that is a good point. In a scene that didn't make it into the movie, Brian smashed that little glass, looked at the keys, and was like, "Hey, a Grateful Dead keychain. I think that's Larry Luke made this. This is cool." Anyway, so they jump off. Yeah, let's talk about that part, Matt.
Well, before even the jump, I do have to mention, there's no doubt in my mind that Dom murders a guy in this scene. He straight up throws a guy out of the train into a bridge.
Yeah.
Like, the bridge is right there. But, he's as they make very clear in this movie, if Dom and Brian and Hobbs are killing criminals, like, don't even worry about it, man.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's totally fine. These people are collateral damage in the Fast universe.
Is that Dom's first death, or a kill?
That could very well be.
I think
so.
Yeah, maybe.
I can't remember one from these. The
Well,
previous 4.
I'll jump to this because there's a part where when Hobbs shows up, he says, he brings up that story about Dom again, like, this guy's scum. He once beat a man to an inch of his life with a socket wrench or whatever. I'm like, why is everyone in this series so hung up on that? This guy's been done a lot way worse stuff since then. As far as I remember, that happened when he was basically a kid. He went to juvie for it. And since then, he's been robbing trucks. As far as Hobbs knows at that point, he's killed DEA agents. But he's very fixated on the fact that he beat a man with a wrench.
Right.
Like, probably 25 years ago. Like, update your files,
Right.
That's right.
That's a good point. What did you think, Matt, of the sort of the ending of this whole, robbery, the train robbery, where they do jump off the cliff. There's like the drama with the bridge coming up, and of course the train's still there, and they're driving alongside it, and they run out of road really, and just take it airborne. I think there is one cool shot. You guys probably know the one I'm talking about, where like it's like they're on a roller coaster, right? Like they're floating, which I'd love to know how they shot that. It looks badass.
It does look good.
Where Dom, I think, is driving, right, and then Brian's on the back, and then they sort of float up. But what'd you think?
Well, this was the scene that had me Googling, can Vin Diesel swim? Because he did not look comfortable in that water. Like,
I would
Paul
bet he
Walker.
can't. I bet. I don't know why.
Paul Walker is, doggy. What am I trying to say? What's it called when you swim but you stand in place? Treading water.
Oh, treading water.
Yeah. Paul Walker's treading water just fine. But then anytime they cut to Dom, his head is like, his lip is like barely above the surface of the water. Anyways, it's good thing those criminals got to the edge of that river at the bottom of a ravine.
Yeah.
They got there pretty quick, which was, they're good. They're good at what they do.
I guess so. Yeah, that's true. Like, they go through all of this hassle of jumping off this gigantic cliff, surviving an unbelievable fall, not getting pancaked by the car on the water, and they're captured literally within 10 seconds.
Damn.
But don't worry.
Like, can you throw me a lifesaver, please? I can't swim.
They will be uncaptured in about 4 minutes.
Well, yeah. Maybe that's all. It's all part of their plan, Trey. They're like, I'm wet now. Let's at least dry off. They'll hang us up to dry.
We got a drip dry. Okay, that answers the question. Because when they finally break out, Dom basically just goes...
That's what Nora said. Nora's like, how did he get out? I'm like, I think he just broke it. I think.
He was just relaxing, man. He was just getting dry from getting zoked.
That would have been a great line if he just turned to Brian. He's like, you dry?
Let's go.
Bow dry. Boom. Let's go.
I do like another great product placement in this series is how they always find a way to show Brian's feet. Like in the first two movies, he was wearing Chuck Taylors, and that's how you knew Brian showed up. He was wearing those California Chuck Taylors. The last two, Fast 4 and Fast 5, he switched to black Vans, and you get a nice shot of the Vans, I think, when he's hovering above the falling car. But yeah, I mean, so I don't know. Was it worth it? Was all the moves they did worth it? They got captured in the end, which may or may not have been their plan. They got caught regardless. Everybody knows they're in Brazil, what they're doing. But they did get that one car, and it was the most important car. So, I mean, a lot of effort to go into getting that one car.
Yep, but
was it worth it?
Mia took off with it. You're right. And Dom and Brian are captured. They're brought to the crime lord, JD Hernan Reyes. He's the owner of the cars. He's his boss. He's running this whole thing. They're interrogated, as we said. They're hung up there to dry to discover, hey, where did your sister take this car? That's what they're trying to figure out. But then they managed to escape. Like, it was like Matt said it. It was like, this is so easy.
Nothing.
Yeah. And it was like they were, boom, breaking free and out of there in no time.
I mean, no explanation. And I'm glad there was no explanation. Like, who cares? Let's get on with it.
Yeah. And so what did you say, JD? They're superheroes.
Yeah, there's just superheroes now. That to me was just, it all leads up to that. Boom, I'm the Hulk now. So here we go. Yeah.
Can the Hulk swim?
Well, he falls in the water in Ragnarok.
Yeah, he gets dropped in the water.
He survives, I guess.
And he managed to get out.
He could jump out of the Mariana Trench. Yeah. Powerful.
He could jump out of like a linebacker jumping out of the pool onto the.
Yeah. People saw that he went flying up the combine numbers.
I felt like remember in the last movie how there was the whole fake Braga plot.
Yep.
And then remember the guy that is the fake Braga?
Mm-hmm.
I think they looked at that and were like, you know what? We should have gone with a guy that looks like that. And the villain in this movie looks like fake Braga.
Yeah. Yep. I buy that.
Like,
for
let's
sure.
let's make him look, like a normal villain again.
There's not many emails I enjoy receiving more than my weekly recap from Grammarly. Just last week, when the email dropped into my inbox, it had the title, "Your grammatical accuracy was flame emoji." Others have said, "Your writing was on point with a dartboard emoji," and "Way to be a grammar guru." That's right. According to Grammarly, I'm a guru. Not a hoodoo guru, but a straight up grammatical guru. That's pretty gangster if you ask me. And those backslapping emails have inspired me, because I used to always focus on being brief with my writing, but not anymore. If you get an email or a message from me these days, I'm guaranteeing that I'm going to take the long way, because more words means more checking by Grammarly, which translates into more confidence building emails from Grammarly in return. So if you want to be a Grammarly gangster or guru like me, it's easy. Grammarly will save you from embarrassing spelling, punctuation, or grammar mistakes, all from your internet browser on your laptop or even on your phone. Cut down on editing time and write more confidently with Grammarly Premium. Get 20% off Grammarly Premium by signing up at grammarly.com/nodunks. That's 20% off at grammarly.com/nodunks.
Sweat is back! That's right, it's summer here in Atlanta, and it sure feels like it. Spend 3 minutes outside and you'll be just like Migos. Came through dripping. Drip, drip. But it's all good, thanks to Element. Element is a tasty electrolyte drink mix with everything you need and nothing you don't. That means lots of salt with no sugar. Because when you sweat, the primary electrolyte lost is sodium. Elite athletes, such as myself, can lose up to 7 grams of sodium per day. And when that sodium isn't replaced, it's common to experience muscle cramps and fatigue. No, thank you. Not a problem, though, with Element. Element contains a science-backed electrolyte ratio. 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium, all perfectly formulated to help anyone with their electrolyte needs and perfectly suited to folks following a keto, low carb, or paleo diet. We all need electrolytes. Sugar, artificial ingredients, artificial coloring, not so much, and there's none of that nonsense in Element. Everyone from Team USA's weightlifters to NBA players to Trey Kirby use Element as a part of their daily hydration routine. Shout out to the mango chili flavor, a must chug after I've been sweating buckets on the yoga mat. Element has a no hassles return policy. If you don't like it, share it with a salty friend, and Element will give you your money back, no questions asked. That's a great deal, but that's not all. Right now, Element is giving the No Dunks community a nice little taste of that Element life. You can claim a free sample pack at drinklmnt.com/nodunks. Gotta pay for shipping, but the pack is free, so step up your salt game with Element. Hit up drinklmnt.com/nodunks for a free sample pack today.
They escape. It was pretty quick. We don't need to take much more time on that one. They retreat to their safe house. So while Brian, Dom, and Mia, they're examining this car to discover why is this the Ford, right? It's the Ford, I think, that one, right? The GT40.
I think so.
I think so. Why is it so important? Vince arrives, and why wasn't Vince a part of this heist?
So that is a thing that I was going to bring up, and I'll bring it up later, but one of my big problems with this movie that didn't prevent me from enjoying it, but was they never explain what the plan is, which in some movies is fine, but especially in the second half where they're going to have to change their plan. If you don't know what the plan was in the first place, it's actually a lot less dramatic to see how they're going to change it because you don't know what it used to be.
Right.
And same with this thing with Vince. Like, what was the plan on the thing? Like when Dom says to Mia, change of plans, like we're not going, like where were you going anyways?
Right.
If you're going to change the plan, it's better to know what the plan was. No? Why isn't Vince involved? Dom just got there. Dom hasn't even seen Mia or Brian yet. So how would he even have a plan with Mia? When he says, like, let's do this, like, what was the original thing? You haven't even talked about it yet.
Yeah.
So I had no idea where Vince was. In fact, like you were saying, JD, it was so chaotic that I kept kind of thinking, like, was he on the train, and I just didn't notice, but he was not.
Or driving one of the vehicles. I don't think he was.
I thought he showed up with Dom. I thought him.
Oh, was he there?
Dom and Vince show up together, like the second wave, because Brian and Mia are on the train, and then Dom and Vince shows up, because later on, Dom is very upset that Vince would put Mia in harm's way, and he's like, I didn't know Mia was going to be there.
How did he
She
not?
was just at your house.
Yeah.
She was just there. She tried to put your baby down to go to sleep. You were talking all about this plan. Brian and Mia do everything together. You would have at least, perhaps chatted with Dom about that. But I don't know. This to me was just like, we have to invert everything from the first Fast and Furious movie. We had Vince being suspicious of Brian the entire time, saying he has ulterior motives. Time it's Brian saying the opposite about Vince. Where was he? A real turn of the tables here.
Yeah.
And then Dom catches Vince in a garage, just like he had caught Brian in the first one, right? It's like, so we took these plot points and we just flipped them. Just completely flipped them to do it. The plan, that's why they never talk about the plan. That way you can change it easily without having to actually go through the first part of the plan.
Yeah, now maybe Vince did take off on in the first car, now that I think about it.
I think
Is that
so.
possible? That he was one of the...
I think that you're right.
Okay.
I think you're right.
Okay. I'm glad we talked that through. He was there. At least Vince was there. But anyway, he gets caught, like Trey said, trying to remove a computer chip from the important car. Mm-hmm. So he's just trying to. He just says he admits he was planning to sell the chip to Reyes on his own. So he was trying to screw Dom and everybody else.
Yeah.
Because he's got his own family now. Is that it?
That's right.
Family is everything, but there's an order to what family, I guess.
There's immediate family.
Immediate family is everything.
Your car heisting buddies part of the family.
Yeah, and I actually love this scene of Dom getting upset with Vince. I think
I almost wish I didn't see that.
Yeah. And then I think at one point he just bangs both of his hands beside Vince's head and just says, "Damn!" Like he doesn't know what to do. He's so upset with Vince, and I guess he just tells him to leave. Right, JD? Is just get. I can't even look at you. Disgust me.
Yep. He says, "Get out." And,
it's like
Vince,
the scene from Harry and the Hendersons. Where Lithgow's telling Harry, "Get out of here,
you dumb ape."
Yeah, Vince is a bit of a dumb ape. But you know what, though? Vince got done dirty, I think, because, he was right about Brian the whole time. If anyone owes anybody anything, it's Dom owes Vince an apology, and he should have let it go, I think. That was a little bit of an overreaction on Dom's part. It's like, I get it, you got a kid and stuff, but, hey, we're in this together. What is that even? We don't even know what it is yet, so... I don't know. And it also, I kind of thought maybe Vince was going to try to get them out of hot water. But if he shows up with the chip, then nobody's in trouble anymore, right? Like that takes all the heat off them. But whatever. Get out, Vince.
Yeah,
but it's not about the chip anymore at that point, JD, because now Reyes has wronged them. He's captured them, and now they want to take him for all he's worth. So now it's personal.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough.
But I did write down in my notes, JD, vengeance for Vince. And Trey, I remember you talking about this, I guess in the first movie, that you were pro Vince. You were team Vince. You're like, this guy's making some great points. You should be listening to him a lot more.
Yeah, and Vince honestly sets Dom straight when they're in the garage here. You didn't listen to me. Brian was a cop, told you within seconds of meeting him. Mia, she's stuck in this life, now pregnant, gonna be raising a child on the run.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Where's Letty? Yeah, felt like I was watching The Wire all over again.
That was too much, Vince. That was one... You went over the line there, I would say, on that.
That's probably what got him kicked out, to be quite honest. Because up until then, straight bars from Vince. He's spitting. If Dom listened, he could be kicking back, drinking Coronas, stealing DVDs. I mean, not a long-term plan. By 2011, pockets would have been hungry, I do believe. Yeah. But at least you wouldn't be on the run from country to country trying to have to break out of jail every 4 years or whatever it is.
Yeah. No, Vince was right all along. He was. Brian investigates the chip, though. and discovers it contains the complete financial details of Rhea's criminal empire, including, of course, the location of $100 million in cash. What do you think of the technology in this one, Matty-O, of unlocking that chip? Has it come a long way since those first couple movies back in the early 2000s?
It looked like when you would rent a car in, like, let's say 2001.
Yep.
And they'd be like, for $10 more a day, you can get a GPS, and it would come in a little sack with a suction cup on it.
Yep.
And you would reach your hand in that sack, and you'd be praying for a Garmin, praying for a Garmin, praying for a Garmin. You pull it, and you're like, Tom! Ah!
Yeah, that's pretty dated, JD. But he's got the information. That's what's important here.
Yeah, I mean, also, I would love to be in the room when one of his henchmen goes to Reyes and says, "Hey, boss, bad news. The car got seized by the DEA. Which car? The one with the chip in it? The chip? Yeah, the chip that you keep in the DVD player in the car for some reason that has all of your financial information on it.
Why is it there?
The chip?
I don't know.
The chip? What chip? The one that looks like an SD card for a 4-megapixel Canon camera?
Oh, that's got my vacation photos on it, too. Jesus, we gotta get that back.
Like, anytime this guy wants to go and check the markets, he has to go... Hey, all right, good. Looks like we're up 4%. All right, back to business.
It's such a pain in the ass.
So frustrating. This guy has no clue, never balances his checkbook because all of his information is stuck in his car at all times.
I am not like, a drug lord. I don't have that capacity. Maybe this guy is a smart man. But I will say, like, if you are trying to hide a chip in a car, don't put it in your best car, which is more likely to be the one that gets stolen or to have eyeballs on it and people really want it. You put it in the worst car, and he puts it in that beautiful car.
Also, it's in the player, the screen. The first thing anyone's going to do is hit play on. Like, that's how The Rock found out that it's not there. It's like, oh, it's missing something.
There's this beautiful classic car. There's one piece of recent technology. I wonder what this does.
Yeah,
it's a good thing that they found the chip before Han got there, because Han loves eating chips.
He accidentally eats it.
What is it?
I fucking love these Fritos, man. These are amazing. He starts gagging on it. Okay, well, yeah. Now we get to Luke Hobbs. I laughed out loud when I read his name was Luke. Did they say that in the movie? It's in the Wikipedia page. Hobbs, that is The Rock, of course.
Hobbs.
That's Dwayne Johnson, diplomatic security service agent, Hobbs. They arrive in Rio to arrest Dom and Brian because of what happened, obviously freeing him in prison, and because of this one thing he won't let go about that wrench that happened when he was 17 years old.
Get over it!
So, okay, I mean, The Rock is incredible. He comes in hot, like just shot out of a cannon. I couldn't believe it. I was like, okay, I was into it because I am a Rock fan. I am a wrestling fan. And he's basically playing that character. But then we get the help of this local officer, Alina, I think her name is.
Sure.
That was just, I mean, I know we get to why she's there and all that, but it was pretty like... Come on, you are the baddest dude on the planet. Like, you could have your choice of any translator. Why are we going with her? And I didn't think the reasons were all that great, Matt, that Alina was in the mix suddenly.
Well, I'm not proud to admit that when she showed up, I was like, wait, Galgadot is why does she do it in Brazil? Because I know everyone like comes back, and I was like, oh. But anyways, turns out it's not.
You thought that was Galgadot?
I thought at first, yeah. I said I'm not proud to admit it. But she's incorruptible, Skeets. That's why you need her.
Yeah.
Because everyone's on the take in Rio, except for her.
Except for her because of her story,
Husband.
tragedy with her husband. Yes.
Yeah.
Which we got to get that little backstory right away. This is why she's okay, JD. I don't know. This was like, ooh, you're jamming her in here.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
what do you think?
Well, I mean, why do you need? You're speaking English to a dude who's talking to you. I don't know what you need a translator for, really. But and also, how did you find her? Like, these two guys' names landed on your desk, and then you went that deep to research every police officer in Rio de Janeiro to find the most incorruptible one. Right. I mean, look, I think originally they tried to have the two gangs sort of match up with one another, and Matt, I don't think you're far off. I mean, she is a little similar to Gal Gadot, just like on the other team, right? There was, and I kind of wish there was more of that, like more of the Wire style of these are the cops and these are the robbers, and they're 1-to-1. Each guy has their own equivalent on the other team. So I think that's why she's in it, to be honest. She is the foil to Giselle.
Well, forget the Wire. It's a Bizarro Jerry.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess so. So they all travel. I will say, Trey, like seeing The Rock show up, that must have got. Of course, you know it heading into the movie, but I don't care. That must have got a pop in a movie theater back in 2011. Just how jacked he is and the way he comes onto the screen.
Comes onto the screen, just spouting one-liners. One of the first things out of his mouth, make sure you got your Thunderwear on.
Yeah.
They're giving this guy incredible lines for this entire movie. And yeah, people were pumped, Seeing it back, I'm like, The Rock looks small here compared to like what he looks like now. Yeah. I didn't realize that he has muscled up as much as he had, but I'm like, this guy is looking svelte back in the day. But yeah, man, once he comes in, it's like you're getting the full Rock experience. He's spouting his one-liners. He's looking tough. He's just being a badass out there. It seems like he's doing a monologue even when he's talking to people.
Yeah.
And that's why they had to give him a sidekick, right? Every Hobbs needs a Calvin. So he gets Neves. And apparently he did his homework. Like, he went into the personnel files of every single police officer in a gigantic, gigantic city, found the one who's only been there 2 months, who had a murdered husband, and knew... That's the one. Can't buy her.
It was weird to see The Rock swear.
Yeah.
He like said, stay the fuck out of my way. And I was like, whoa, my goodness. I don't think I've ever heard The Rock swear. I guess maybe he does in some of those other movies you were naming. I haven't seen a lot of them, but that caught me by surprise, Matteo.
Well, I was going to ask Trey, when The Rock is doing his straight up Tommy Lee Jones fugitive speech, does he say Thunderwear or Thunderwear?
Okay. Great question you ask me, because this was one of the takeaway lines from the movie when I saw it 10 years ago, calling everything Thunderwear specifically, but now I'm old. 10 years later, I watch everything with closed captioning on, and the closed captioning said Thunderwear.
That makes more sense.
Thunder with a TH makes sense, but
well, hold on, let me read the quote.
Yep.
All right, listen up. The guys we're after are professional runners. They like speed and are guaranteed to go down the hardest possible way, so make sure you've got your Thunderwear on? Why would you want to have fun? I mean, thunder. You're at speed.
Agree. I don't know. I think it works both ways, to be quite honest.
Oh yeah.
It's
Either way.
Word, but I for 10 years I would have told you it's Thunderwear until I saw it last night with closed captioning on and changed my mind.
Wow.
I'm sticking with Thunderwear.
Well, I think Thunderwear makes more sense. It's like this is happening, and there's a good chance your pants are going to come off. So wear your Thunderwear. Thunderwear doesn't really make it. It's like your good underwear. It's like the underwear you want people to see you in, right?
Your showpiece.
That's right.
Oh my god, I like this 5-minute breakdown of what did he say, Thunderwear or Thunderwear. That's why we do Fast Friends, people. I laughed when he said, I think it was in this scene, right, where he just says, and whatever you do, like, don't let them in a car or something. Don't let them drive.
Let them get in a car.
Yeah, I like that.
Above all else, we don't ever let them get into cars.
Yeah, so just lock the doors.
Put on their child locks.
Handy.
Okay, so we get The Rock. He's there. He's got his sidekick. They travel to Dom's safe house, but of course, timing is everything in this franchise. They find it under assault by Reyes' men. ZZ and the boys.
ZZ and the Tops.
Yeah, that's right. They're all searching for this chip, and we obviously get them all there at once. A lot goes on here, JD. You can take us through it if you want, but Brian, Dom, and Mia escape, and Dom suggests they split up. But this is then when we get the, hey,
Right.
I'm pregnant. And then Dom changes his plan. The guy loves to change a plan. Now, a lot of the time he doesn't have a first plan, but he's like, well, we were about to split up. We ain't doing that now. We got to stick together. And then they come up with the idea to steal the money. But yeah, the whole sort of everybody meeting at the warehouse, JD, this is like happened a couple of times in this series already that we've watched the movies, where it's like timing, you get basically three factions all getting at the same time in one spot. But what did you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, this was my favorite scene in the movie. I think just that the race over the rooftops in Rio, and just all of the, there's the confrontation between The Rock and Vin Diesel the first time they sort of confront each other. Then Alina and Vin have their moment where he loses his cross. He saves her, he loses his cross. And then she takes it as a token, I suppose.
Some real serial killer behavior there.
Never leave the cross behind.
It's a little creepy. But yeah, I mean, it's this. I mentioned Macquarie before. This reminded me of a Mission Impossible sort of foot chase. It was spectacular action. A lot of bloodshed. I love the pissing contest between the right when it starts, when The Rock shows up with his team, and then there's all the gang members, and then there's just he brings out his bigger gun and is like, yeah, I thought so, when they all sort of shrink away. It's just great. It's just all fucking balls and testosterone, and you love it. You gotta love it, right?
Oh, yeah, this is like superhero feats all around on this one. Hobbs and Dom just sprinting along the tops of buildings. They're both pulling crazy parkour moves. Brian hits a Superman punch at one point.
Oh, he does that all the time in this movie.
That's his
like
move.
4 flying punches. Yeah.
Superman punch, my guess is that it's easier to learn than you would think for how cool it looks. Because anytime you do it, it's like, whoa, that looked like the most powerful punch I've ever seen. Like you're saying, JD, Hobbs and his men murder 10 to 20 of these associates of Reyes. Mia is currently pregnant, jumps from a building, crushes through, and then just walks away. These people are complete superheroes. They finally tell Dom that Mia's pregnant, and the guy's barely even excited.
I know.
I'm like, come on. You gotta cheer up a little bit here. He does say the family just got bigger, so of course he understands the implications, but...
Wait, that would be funny if Dom does not know how babies are born. Oh, what do you mean?
But it seems like this is going to be his first niece or nephew, his first actual family member to be added to the family. And he's just like, that family's bigger.
Yeah.
Come on, for a guy who actually loves family, he should have been way more excited. Let's go get a drink. Let's go do something.
I agree. He plays it off pretty quickly for a guy that talks nonstop about family. Couldn't care less that he's actually got a new family member. It didn't feel like it. You'd think he would be like crying or like really embracing and hugging, but I mean, he just went through quite the ordeal with this chase. Did you find it believable, Matt? Dom and Hobbs, running. As I did it, actually, I sort of was like, these are giant dudes. That part was like, all right, just keep fighting, guys. I think that works better for you guys. But what'd you think?
Did I find it believable? Yes, 100%. And I know you'll probably talk more about this as the series goes, but one thing I know about Fast and Furious is that Vin Diesel hates The Rock, and they've got major beef. And just watching this one movie, I totally get why, because The Rock blows him off the screen.
Yeah.
Such a better actor, so much more charismatic, so much physically bigger, both taller and wider and more muscular.
And he can swim so much better.
Oh my God. Just out on those Hawaiian islands, just. And if you're Vin Diesel and you're the star of this, and then The Rock comes in within like 3 scenes is blowing you off the screen, like, yeah, if I was insecure of Vin Diesel, I would be upset too.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that. Trey. Once The Rock shows up and they are head to head, like, is it a believable SummerSlam poster? These two fighting for the main event. Like, does Dom, hold his own against a formidable opponent in The Rock, or is, like Matt saying, it's like, maybe we went overboard with this. We should have went with Tommy Lee Jones.
Well, Dom holds his own because, like, I think the story goes that the contract says Dom has to hold his own. Like, Vin Diesel cannot lose a fight in this. Just watch. He'll never lose a fight, even if it's against The Rock. And it's believable from that standpoint where the backstage, like, he ain't gonna lose.
Right.
And it's also believable if they never show you them standing side by side, feet flat on the ground, because at least then they can make Vin Diesel look somewhat close to The Rock's size, because... I mean, like, The Rock is like NFL football player size, right? Like, he's like, I don't know, 6'5". He's a big, tall guy, aside from being super jacked, so he's just like a massive, massive guy. Meanwhile, Vin, you get the sense that he's just been lifting his entire life, whereas The Rock is like, training to use his body for something other than having gigantic muscles. So... I don't know. After seeing Fast 4, you're like, Vin Diesel is basically a superhero at this point. He takes 2 rocket launcher blasts in this movie. His vehicle gets rocket blasted twice. No big deal. And he walks away. But, I mean, in real life, you're taking The Rock 100 times out of 100. And in Fast World, you're taking Vin.
Right. Yeah, I think that's right. I didn't know that. That's a real... I've heard that before, but I sort of thought it was like almost like an urban legend. It actually says in contracts that he can't lose a fight in this... Like, that's real?
That's the rumor,
okay.
And... my only corroborating source was a guy I used to buy weed from, so maybe perhaps not the most accurate, but he was working on the set, so he would seem to have the inside information.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, it would be like the equivalent of when we were the starters, me writing it into the contract that I can never lose a crossfire.
Oh, another tie.
Never can lose. I don't care. I can just sit here, stand, twirl around in circles, and I'm not losing to Tasley or Trey ever. But yeah, and JD, I mean, I guess sort of the same question, like just the head-to-head between the two. You already said you were sort of taken out of this movie, so I assume that made it worse, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, between the Rock and Vin Diesel, I mean, it's not even close. It's a joke. The guy he looks like an action figure. Like he's just all muscle, he's bigger than Schwarzenegger, it looks like, and currently, but not back then. He was just all lean, mean, fighting machine. Like, I don't know. And it looks like Vin Diesel can barely move. He doesn't move. He drives everywhere. He doesn't actually walk around.
Right.
You know what, JD? You're very right on one thing. No mobility.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're just doing like a bunch of shoulder presses or something, that makes your shoulders big, but, what about the flexibility and the mobility? The Rock's just, he's rangy.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel looks like his scapula might strangle him.
Yeah. They should switch names because Vin Diesel is more like a rock. Like, he's actually rock-like.
And The Rock is more like a diesel truck.
Totally,
Yeah.
A well-oiled machine.
That's true.
Well, imagine Vin starts going by that now that The Rock does it. He's Dwayne Johnson already. So he's like, fine, I'm Vin The Rock Diesel.
It's like Dwight Howard being Superman after Shaq retired.
Yeah. Well, like we said this whole thing with Tommy Lee Jones, I read this part too. According to Vin Diesel himself, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, was brought into Fast 5 because of a fan's suggestion from a girl named John Kelly, or Jan the Pelican.
Jan the Pelican?
Jan the Pelican Kelly said we should get The Rock in here.
And who is she talking to? She just said, how about The Rock?
This story? What is this story? A woman, a girl, saw the Vin Diesel and said, you should work with The Rock. You guys would be great together.
Well, she was very wrong. I mean, they hate each other.
Yeah, I know.
No chemistry.
Okay. So where are we here? Okay,
we're assembling the team for the heist.
Oh, nice.
Yes, this is.
Man, we're an hour in. We haven't even gotten to the team.
I know. We gotta maybe pick this
gonna
up
be a monster.
That's right, because the plan is we're not going anywhere, says Dom. You're pregnant. We're sticking together this time. We're organizing a team to perform the heist. And yeah, this is Ocean's 11 right here. We get Han. Hell yeah. We get Roman. We get Tej, Giselle, Leo, Santos. Vince later joins the team. After saving Mia, he's back in good graces. He's helping out again after being captured, Mia was, by Reyes' men. So I love this stuff. Always a sucker for this. And I got to admit, every time they were showing someone new, I'm yelling out in the dark with the volume cranked to 100 with my my in-laws. Yeah, Roman's back. And like, Han, yeah. I actually couldn't believe they kept going. I couldn't believe we were like, Giselle is back? What the hell? They got the whole band back together, Trey. It was incredible.
They got the chameleon, the fast talker, the circuits, the bashers, the weapons, and 2 precision drivers who will never be caught. You know they got that! And that's the great part about the scene. You're not just seeing the people, right? They're not just saying, oh, we got Han back, we got Roman back. They're actually putting them in the room together. Because the montage is like, here they all are coming to Brazil to do this job. And then we finally see them all get together. And like, that scene's electric to me. Tej and Roman like going back and forth, cracking on each other. Roman starts creeping on Giselle. He pulls a gun. I love Leo and Santos talking shit to each other in Spanish, and of course Roman can't help himself and he opts in. Two failed. They even have Han eating in this scene. You know, we complained in Fast 4 they showed him for just a few seconds, didn't have a big part, could have easily gave him a bag of chips. He's on the screen for about 2 seconds here before he's crushing a chip. I love that. I love that even Dom has to meet Tej and Roman because he wasn't in Too Fast, Too Furious, so he doesn't know who these guys are.
And he met them, he said, hey, if we ever fight, I ain't losing. It's in my contract. I'll never lose to you.
Check the fine print, Roman. There's even, I think, a Los Bandoleros callback when Han walks in, he's like, sorry, it's not the Ritz.
Yep.
Which, definitely. I mean, works fine as a line if it's just there. You know, like, okay, we're not staying at a fancy place. But he asked for it in that 20-minute short that only the sickos watched. This was between the montage of them figuring out who they're going to need and then them actually getting in a room together and chopping it up. It's great stuff.
Yeah. Well, Matt, you'd seen all the movies, like days leading up to Fast 5. Were you as excited, I guess, to see the whole crew back together?
I was happy they all got together. My main question from this scene is at the end when they go, and we'll need 2 precision drivers. And then they both look at each other and they're like, haha, that's us. But are they the precision drivers? Because then they will proceed to never do the course in the warehouse where they try to evade the camera. So were they the drivers or not? I mean, at the end when they change the plan, they're the drivers.
Yeah, they're the drivers. Yeah.
But at this point, OG plan 1, I don't understand how they're the drivers. But
well, Brian tried, didn't he?
He tries the first time.
Tries.
Yep.
Yeah, but then Giselle does it, and she's like, oh, I'll keep going till I can do it. But anyways, the Han timeline getting even more insane. They're kicking that can down the road.
Oh, yeah.
So in the 4th one, they're like, okay, we want to have this guy in it. So we'll just say he's about to go to Tokyo. Okay? All right, I heard some crazy stuff's happening in Tokyo. Now, I guess they had a meeting. We're like, man, we really want him in this one. Okay, well, what if he just hasn't gone to Tokyo yet? Mm-hmm. And so then at the very end of the movie, Gal Gadot's like, oh, weren't you going to go to Tokyo or something? And he's like, yeah, Tokyo will be there. So that's the explanation for why he's still there. Is that right? Am I getting this right?
Exactly right.
We'll get to Tokyo eventually.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Okay. I mean, I'm happy he's there, but weird. Yeah. And then the poor Gal Gadot, she's really getting it from these guys. She gets the sexy legs, baby girl. What time they open? It's a classic. What time do your legs open joke? And then to be followed by when she really, puts her dignity on the line to get groped by Reyes, and then she comes back saving the day.
Yeah, with the print.
Only to be met with, did he grab your ass? Did he finger it? Or what does he say? Like, or does he touch it? Does she grab it?
Yeah.
Like, she just really did you a favor. Just say thanks.
Yeah.
Plus, she's probably not
y'all
going to
had
get
no
to wear
ideas.
that bikini again.
That's right. That probably cost a lot, that purple bikini. You're right. JD, what do you think of everybody getting back together? Were you at least excited?
I was very excited. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that guy. As a fan, I felt serviced. So, and that's what you want, right?
Yep.
Like,
Well, they think since it's because there's 10 locations, going to be difficult to steal from all 10 locations at once. So the plan is, this is the plan. We're going to attack one location, steal 10 million from there, then burn the money, but I think it's fake money.
No, it's real money. Absolutely
I thought it
real
was
money.
too.
yeah, it's real.
I mean, I guess, yeah, I don't know why Wikipedia says fake.
Because he says, "Do you know whose money you're stealing?" And Dom goes, "We ain't stealing it," and just lights it on fire.
I get, yeah. No, you're right. Okay, I'll make sure to go back to Wikipedia and edit out fake. They burn the money. Yeah, whole thing is to like, you go back, you tell him, these sickos are out there burning money, and
Tell them exactly who did this.
yeah, and it plays out perfectly for Dom because Reyes is afraid of further attacks, so he consolidates the remaining $90 million into the DVD of a car. No, I'm kidding. He puts $90 million in a vault inside a police station, JD.
Wow.
Yes, that is the safest place in Rio you can put it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, I actually don't hate this plan, right? You've got money scattered all over the place. You want to make it so that you need to put it all in one place so they can only steal it from one place.
Yep.
What I don't understand is why they revealed who they are. Like, wouldn't he consolidate the money regardless? Like,
Right.
where's he gonna get? We're stealing this money. We're burning this money. We're gonna do it 10 more times. So watch your back, man. And you leave. But there's this whole production of taking the masks off and saying, we want him to know it's us. Why?
Why?
What is the purpose of that? Like, there's no reason other than to bring heat upon you, like more heat.
I would say the justification would be that because it's personal now.
I suppose.
That must
but-
be personal.
The problem is...
It must be
it's,
personal.
Yeah. The problem is, you made it personal. So, yeah, you shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have made it so personal.
It is a weird move that they go through the entire robbery with masks on, only to reveal at the end. I mean, go in masks off or go in full mask, because you're getting the same result pretty much either way. Like, the guy's not going to want his money all over the place, and putting it in a police station seems pretty safe.
It does.
As
Safe.
Roman says, this just went from Mission Impossible to Mission in freaking Sanity.
That line is in the trailer. Who wrote that?
I think Tass Mellis wrote that, actually.
That is
In freaking Sanity.
You guys were hyping up Tyrese in Too Fast, Too Furious,
Yeah.
which is the one I didn't watch. I mean, hyping up. You said he was really good.
He is
good.
the
best.
He is garbage in this movie.
Yeah.
Like that mission in freaking Sanity, and I mean, I'll get to this at the end, but my most hated scene is the scene where he tries to get into the evidence room.
yeah.
A scene which absolutely does not need to exist because the whole plan is to put the box into the evidence room, and inside the box is a remote control car with a camera that they will tap into. He doesn't need to go into the evidence room at all. So why not just say, "Hey man, here's the evidence," but we need
Comedy
to get
relief.
comedy relief. But then you gotta make it funny and not give me a cringe line about how your ID says you're Caucasian and then you say it's because you have a tan. Yikes.
And then he lets it go. It's like, you are not who you say you are. And this is a police station. You're under arrest, man. Like, you're impersonating
feel like
an
I'm under
FBI
arrest.
agent.
Also, you've taken off your mask, and apparently everyone in Rio's on the take, and this guy Reyes owns all the favelas, so presumably everyone's on the lookout for them.
Right.
Which is like part of the whole, like, hey Mia, why are you going shopping in the market? Like, you're already wanted. Now you're double wanted because now all of Reyes's men are after you, and all the corrupt police in Rio are after you. Never mind the Americans are after you. And everyone, like, she's going shopping. Dom and Brian are going to a street race. I I guess Ludacris. I mean, I guess he was smart. He was Amazon priming a 10-ton
Giant safe.
what did he put in the address? Like, Ludacris, care of Shady Warehouse, Favela Avenue.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, she's out and about. She shouldn't be, right? Though she's got a baby to get nutrients into.
But so hire a delivery guy or something.
Yeah.
I mean, they do to try and come up with a reason for why they're out and about. It pays off later when they're literally like, "This is my Brazil," like sort of, and like they're like, "Yeah, we love you. We don't even know you, but we're with you."
Yeah.
So maybe just being out and about, community. Maybe that sort of got them there. Anyway, Dom's team, they start doing surveillance. So it's we know it's all in the police station. It's all in this one vault, and we got to come up with a plan now. Buying cars, buying equipment. We got to figure out how to get the handprint, like you said. That falls to Giselle, and create a plan to steal this money. Trey, what were you like? Were you like, as you were going through this, going like, okay, yeah, they're checking the boxes, they're putting some thought into this.
I wrote the plan down just so I could know, just so I could refer in case I ever need to pull off a heist. Roman talks his box into the evidence room.
Yep.
Matt, you're saying why go through the entire charade? The charade is the point, man. The charade is the point. You ask for all this stuff. The least you could do is put that box in the evidence room. It's simple. Nobody's going to get upset about that. Ask for a lot, settle for a little, but it's the one thing you need.
Okay.
I don't know, man. Like he was billed
guy
as
hated
the
him.
talker. He's the talker. We need a fast talker. We need a good talker. Get Tyrese in there, and he completely shits the bed, like completely.
Well, he gets the box. He gets
He got the box right where he needed.
Okay. But
Also,
he wanted to go
evidence
in
room.
there.
Hold on. Why is he using Brian's ID?
Yeah.
Brian
that one's
is-
on Tej. Tej should be hitting the Photoshop up on that one. Like, come on, man. You can order a 17-ton safe. You can't order a dot matrix printer or something along with you. But the plan continues. Tej drives his remote control car thing. But he can't drive. Accident callbacks from Too Fast, Too Furious. Remember he said he crashed going 120.
Yep.
I love it. That's called world building right there. You even get more from Leo and Santos blowing the pipes. They act as plumbers. There is shit everywhere in there.
Yeah.
Disgusting. They
Impossible not to think of. I think you should leave.
Who did the paint job at the Rio police station? Who left a sloppy mud pie at the Policia Militaria?
But yeah, they monitor their cameras. They figure out they got 10 seconds, which 10 seconds, that's a big number in the Fast and Furious universe. Let's go get some cars.
Yeah.
But this was where I got bummed out on the plan. We don't get to see the first street race that happens. They get all set up to go, I guess, a Dom's American Muscle versus maybe they got a Porsche, I think is what that blue car was. I'm not even sure. But they cut before we even see the race. We just see them rolling up in Brian's blue car back at the warehouse. I would have liked to seen that first race.
Yeah, but that goes back to what I said at the beginning.
Very happy that we didn't see that race.
It
was like such a relief. I was already in the tedium of this cockamamie scheme, and it's just like, oh, thank you, Justin. Thank you so much for not showing us the stupid race. We knew they were going to get the car, so let's just get to it. And again,
JD, it goes back to like, hey, we're not doing this anymore. This is not what this series is. This franchise.
Exactly.
This is This is a heist. We ain't doing drag races anymore.
Yeah, but then they go into doing some more racing, and then they do a drag race later.
Yeah, the four of them, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because they had
cars.
They had four people though.
You always gotta have four people.
Maybe that was the problem.
Yeah.
They can't show us a race with two people only.
Yeah. Why did they do that?
Why did they not show us that race?
No, the one where they are they are sort of racing the car.
I know why. Because it's the spectacle of watching 4 police cars in a street race. That's the only reason. Only reason.
And it's also like, who is racing it? It's like, I'm sure there's talk leading up to Fast 5, like, hey, maybe Han's the best racer. No, it's Brian. It's actually Brian. There has to be that. So it's like, well, let's find out.
I think plot-wise it's important because Brian finally wins a race that he doesn't actually win, and then you get the Vin sort of basically, donating money to his kid.
Oh yeah, I did forget about that. That's his gift. Oh my god, that's his baby gift.
And then it'll give us a nice little like button at the end of the movie.
Okay.
When they talk about who, you let me win. No, blah blah blah.
Okay. So did I cut you off? We got through the plan there. You went through everything? No, you were...
That's pretty much the plan up until they figure out, they go into the drifting montage where they're like, we got to figure out how to drift through this. And basically everybody's doing their time trials. And that's when we learn drifting is officially the coolest of the driving styles in Fast and Furious, because they're not trying to street race this thing out of here. You got to be able to actually drive. So of course Han falls in love watching Giselle drift. That's the way to his heart.
Yeah. He's okay, like, right? Because in the timeline, he has never seen or done drifting.
Probably blows his mind.
I did not realize
I didn't really realize that either. Did they actually show him, Trey? Like, was he like, what? Like,
he does say, I think I'm in love.
But we're led to believe, of course, it's her that he's in love with, but
not the drift.
The drift itself is maybe he's intrigued by too. Oh wow, that's amazing. I didn't catch that.
Interesting.
That's hilarious. So okay, yeah, okay. The plan, it's set. Don't worry, they're gonna change the whole damn plan anyway. Where are we?
I don't know. At one point, like you mentioned, Skeets, there's a great scene that's just a recreation of Dom and Brian's first race, but just the aftermath of it. It's when Hobbs tracks Dom and Brian to that street race, and instead of, you had me, Vin drops I'm arrested?
Yeah, right.
Doesn't feel like I'm arrested. This is Brazil! Yeah. He goes into an accent for the first time all movie with the real racer's arms out. And Hobbs just walks away. That was crazy to me. Like, Dom big boying Hobbs there? Dom's not even wearing a belt, can barely keep his pants up. And Hobbs walks away. I couldn't believe that in that moment, but I guess it's all just to set up that tracker on Hobbs's vehicle. They go through all this spectacle. They go through the race earlier. They're trying to be seen out there so that Hobbs will track them down so that they can be the ones who are doing the tracking, of course. They botched that as well.
Yeah. No, it's... The part, I just didn't understand why these people were so pro-Dom.
Yeah.
Like, I guess they're just anti-Hobbs and cops.
Especially that one guy who lost his car to him the night before, or a few weeks before, or whatever.
It's like, yeah, I saw that guy's sister buying groceries. They're one of us.
I mean, it's a worldwide community of racers.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Fair enough. I found it so cringe when he used the accent for Brazil. It was like, whenever anyone comes back from Barcelona and they say, it's Barcelona,
Right, yeah.
All right, Dom.
Well, first of all, do we even know if is that a Brazilian accent?
Idea.
I mean, it sounded, to be frank, just like generic Latin American. And he literally says like "this."
Yeah.
This is Brazil.
Right.
Is that? I don't know. Portuguese does not sound like Spanish. I will tell you that. People think it does, but it does not.
Well, Hobbs and his team, to get back into this movie. Oh my God, this movie is the longest of the 5 we've watched so far, and this is gonna be the longest podcast here. Hobbs and his team, they eventually find and arrest Dom, Mia, Brian, and Vince, transporting them to the airport for extradition to the United States. Convoy is attacked by Reyes' men, who kill Hobbs' team. That's an important part, I think, of this whole thing. Like, Hobbs' team is taken out, just destroyed, wiped out. Hobbs and Elena are saved by Dom, Brian, Mia, and Vince, who escape the assault. But Vince is fatally shot. Oh, our boy Vince, the one that was right all along, could have avoided all of this. And before he dies, he reveals that he named his son after Dom.
Why? Why did you do that, man? Literally, as soon as Brian came around, he's like, get Vince the fuck out of here. He knew him for 20 years. He met Brian for 20 minutes. He's like, you're the new Vince. I like you better. But Vince is still naming his kid after Dom. They haven't seen each other for 5 years. Dom buries him in the garage, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
He says, you were always my brother? I wouldn't say always, Dom. There are some notable times when Vince was not your brother, but Still named him. Still named that kid Nico.
Yeah.
Nico.
Did you pour one out there for Vince, JD? Were you sad to see him go?
Totally.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see some. Yeah.
I lift my Brahma to you.
For Vincent. I would have liked to see some attempt at direct pressure or something when he realizes that Vince is shot, like just no reaction other than like, it was just like, oh, I guess you're going to die now. You're sitting across from me. We're driving away. And no hold on, buddy. You're going to be all right. It's just, okay, I'll be sure to take care of your kid. Cut to the body lying on a table. I was grateful not to see Vince die, like actually die.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was just like, this is how it works in Fast and Furious world. Like, well, I guess you're gonna die, man. So
or not.
But Dom has done that. Yeah, more likely we'll see Vince in like 5 movies. Yeah,
and nobody dies in this world. So
it would be great if Dom was like, "All right, Vince, if you're dead, you gotta tell me, okay?" I made the mistake too many times. I'm about to find out my my girlfriend's still alive.
Don't worry, Vince. We're going to bring you back for FF9, but actually that will be before this happens.
Last year I was looking to start a workout routine from home, and I had heard about Peloton, so I downloaded the app for a free 30-day trial. I put in my fake username of Barry Fisher, and I was on my way. Why the heck did I use a fake username, you ask? Well, I didn't think I would subscribe past the 30-day free trial. But Peloton, it hooked me. It is way different than other workout sites I've tried. A year later, I'm seriously hooked. I even use my real name now, Tas Mellis. Come follow me. One thing that sets Peloton apart from other workout videos is that the instructors are recording classes all the time. They go live, and then it's up, so it feels really, really current. And I find the urge to keep up with them. It's not just a library of videos that were recorded who knows when. They were recorded yesterday, the day before that. They talk about current events. These people are interesting. They're my friends. Like my girl Jess Sims, a former college basketball player. Or my man Adrian Williams, a budding photographer. Or Selena Samuela. Man, she can sing. Speaking of music, one other thing, they use real music. Recently, I've done a 45-minute full body strength to Migos, a 60 minutes bad boy entertainment workout, a Lil Wayne run, a 90s fun run, an EDM boot camp, a 45-minute versus Rick Ross and 2 Chainz. That's a game changer. The playlists are curated. The beat drops at the exact right time. My girl Jess Sims always making that happen. I got into it. I bought a Peloton, but I waver from time to time. I stop working out, I get back on, I stop. But you know what? Being part of a community also reels me in. Oh, this person is working out. Let me see what they're doing. I got into the hashtags. I'm part of the hashtag Thunder Squad, the hashtag Curseout crew, the hashtag Peloton Dads crew, the hashtag You Get To crew, the hashtag ATL Peloton. And it's not just cycling. They have all sorts of workouts: cardio, strength, yoga, Pilates, outdoor runs, meditation, and a whole lot more. So be like me. Get a free trial. With the Peloton bike, there's nothing like working out from home. Learn more at onepeloton.com. New members can try Peloton classes free for 30 days at onepeloton.com/app. Terms apply. That's onepeloton.com.
Hey, does this sound familiar? You got one device that lets you catch the game live, another that lets you stream your favorite shows. You're watching sports highlights on your phone, and you've got your neighbor's best friend's login for the good stuff. Well, I want to tell you about a simple way to get all that entertainment you love without the hassle, and a great way to finally get your TV together. It's called DirecTV Stream, and brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before, so you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. That means no more juggling remotes and no need to buy another device ever again. And the best part, there's no annual contract. So get rid of the clutter and the confusion and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package.
Yeah, he's done. I was sad. That Vince died.
Yeah, me too.
But now we got to avenge some murder. That's the beauty of this. We got Hobbs got to avenge some murder. We've got Dom that's got to avenge some murder now. So that's what really brings them together. It's like this. We got to get this drug lord that's killing all of our people. So Hobbs and Alina, they agree to help with the heist. And we can get to it. Let's go to it. The gang break into the police station and tear the vault, holding Reyes' money from the building, dragging it through the city. I didn't see this coming.
And again, I don't quite know how they were going to do it in the first plan. A much better plan.
Yeah.
You got Dom and Brian driving, which is the greatest skills on your team.
Yeah, top of the resume. Yep.
And I don't know. I don't know why they had a first plan. This one, they nailed it.
They did nail it, and they got that thing out quick, and then they just go on and drag this damn vault through this city. It will take out buildings. It will take out, concrete pillars, other cars, trucks. It'll bounce off a palm tree. But I know trees are strong.
I missed that one.
It'll just ricochet off that, but literally takes out everything else. Extensive police chase. This is a crazy scene. Dom and Brian, they continue. Or Dom, has Brian continue without him. I was confused by that. Did he press something to undo Brian's car? Yeah?
Some sort of a release, it looked like.
Yeah. Okay.
But wasn't the whole point that you needed both cars to
That's
pull
what
it?
I thought. Yeah.
And in any case, this was great. This scene. I don't know how you guys felt, but this was a great set piece. I mean, obviously it's ridiculous, but who cares? It's the final, chase of the movie, and it delivered. I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah, it was really funny when Dom is such a good driver that he's pulling a gigantic vault behind his one car, but somehow steering it to just take out cars.
Using it like a mace.
Yeah.
Basically a mace attached to his car. My favorite bit of destruction is when the cable that attaches the car to the safe at one point slices off the top of another car because it just pulls taut or whatever. Get a little shot of Nas in here as well, which I was happy to see.
Yep.
But yeah, the safe dragging through the city, tough to beat in the fast world.
Yeah, JD, in this movie alone, was this the coolest scene? This taking of the vault and dragging it through the city and obviously taking out cops and stuff like that and henchmen and all that? Or do you think it ranks below the train scene and even maybe below the, getting Dom out of the bus?
No, I think this is the best scene we've seen so far. It's the most spectacular thing that they've done, and as far everything that I've read, it's mostly not real, but those cars are actually dragging a 9-ton vault. It's in some scenes, there's apparently 3 vaults. There's the vault that they were actually dragging, which had some slippery shit on it to allow it to slide. Then there was a smaller one that was driven. There was a pickup truck inside that they just cut off half of the pickup, and then an actual semi to literally drive it into cars that have been hollowed up to make it just mayhem and destruction. And they did an incredible job on that. The whole conceit that only corrupt cops are getting killed, but no pedestrians are getting injured is actually hilarious. And at one point when it crashes through a bank where it's full of people, and nobody's hurt apparently, or we don't know, but that's the assumption. I turned to Jackson. I was like, wouldn't it be cool if that vault snagged the bank vault and now they were dragging 2 vaults? Why not? You've come this far, right? You might as well.
Playing a barrel of monkeys where you have to take a monkey and grab another one. They just try and keep adding on vaults. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
But talking about how definitely no innocent civilians are dying in this. There's a part where Brian just started laughing to himself at how well it's going. Like he literally laughs. I'm like, dude, you probably just murdered like 20 to 30 people. But he's having a great time, and as was I.
Yeah, it was honestly very, very exciting, this scene, and it ends. There's a big crash. Reyes is badly injured by Dom's assault, and then Brian returns and kills ZZ. Yeah, that guy's still alive somehow. ZZ is still alive, but Brian kills him, and then Hobbs arrives on the scene, and he kills Reyes. I think I have that right. In terms of like who's killing who here. This
just walks by him and casually shoots him in the face as he's going.
Yeah.
And the only cop in this entire franchise, there's two cops that are not corrupt in this entire franchise. It's Neves, who just joined up, and it's Bilkins. Everybody else, it's like, as soon as Hobbs gets the chance to go murdering, he's like, Dom, I'm in. I'm coming with you, buddy. I know I've worked my whole life to become an officer like I have, but you're offering me some vengeance right here, so I am 100% in. Bilkins, man, you better stay on the straight and narrow. I can't lose faith in Bilkins.
Oh, God. It is his weekend shirt, JD. Bilkins is going to go on a killing rampage. It's
also, after that entire reign of destruction, I couldn't help thinking, like, they should have just kept him in jail. Like, Dom is guilty. He's guilty at the very beginning of the movie. He's convicted. He'll admit that he did everything that he said that he did. He's a menace to society, and this just proves it, right? Like he destroys Rio de Janeiro with the vault. Like it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's...
I don't know. It doesn't seem as bad as beating someone with a wrench 25 years ago.
That'll still be at the top of his rap sheet for sure. I was a little shocked. I'm with you, Trey, when Hobbs was just bang. It's like nothing.
Easy, man.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, that was too easy for you. You got some darkness in you.
I feel like they toned it down a little bit too, because those gunshots weren't very loud to me. Like you don't actually see them hit the body or anything. I think they did some either sound finesse or just it's out of frame. It's just everything else is super bombastic, but he just goes pop pop and he's gone. It's
he's dead.
Like, all right, we were trying to make Hobbs not look too bad.
Oh, for sure. Okay, so though Hobbs, this is where we're now on the bridge. Hobbs says, here's the deal. All right, I refuse to let you guys go free. Mm-hmm. But give you a 24-hour head start to escape on the condition that they leave the vault as it is. Also, read the fine print. I might win a fight later on in this franchise. I'm going to need you to sign right here.
The vault, by the way, that's filled with drug money, so I'm not sure why. It's not like they're giving that back to regular folks that have invested it in their checking account.
Right.
But anyways.
So that seems like a fair deal if you're in Brian and Dom's position.
Sure.
I mean, that's not bad.
You hope for anything better?
No, that's great. We killed who we wanted to kill. You're letting us get 24-hour head start, man. Have you seen us? Like we flip a bus over and we can get out of there in like 5 minutes. We can separate and be back together in a different country in no time. We'll leave the vault. But, and I will admit, didn't see it coming. I don't know, maybe I missed a tell somewhere. Maybe you guys can tell me what I missed. But we learn that the vault is empty because it had been switched during the chase, with the real vault being successfully opened. Hobbs is looking at the Amazon vault, right? That's the one that Tash has ordered, and they have the real one in the warehouse, have cracked it open, and they're splitting their cash, and Dom's team goes their separate ways, and we get a little we get the rare montage of everybody leaving and doing whatever there is they're going to do. So we always get the montage of what they're doing when they all come together, but this is we also get the bookend of it, JD. But yeah, did you see this vault switch happening? Did I miss it? And what'd you think of it?
This is my second time seeing the movie, but absolutely the first time I was like, whoa! I'm totally surprised. Like it, and then I watched it again last night, and it was I was like, oh, there's the garbage truck right there. Like,
Yeah.
And but yeah, it was cool. It was I love that little twist at the end there. It was great.
Matt, what'd you think?
I saw it come. I didn't know how it would happen, but I knew it wasn't enough of a win. Otherwise, the movie ends with him going, "You have 24 hours," and then
Yeah.
they just walk away, and then all is for naught because they haven't got any of the money. Did I know that when they said you have 10 seconds, it was because they were lining up with a garbage truck that had the false safe? I did not know that.
Right.
But my question is, we got a classic quid pro quo here, right? I give you a 24-hour head start. You leave me the money. Now, they escaped with the money. Doesn't that void the agreement? And if so,
Yeah.
they're in the warehouse that you've already been to.
Yeah. Just swing
Just
by.
go over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But instead, it just ends on a shot of Hobbs just chuckling to himself like, those guys that got me to abandon my principles within 5 seconds, go on a murderous rampage, and they took the money. Those rascals. I bet they're at that warehouse counting it now, laughing, thinking about what they're going to do with all that money. But too bad I don't know where it is. Oh, I do know where it is because I've been to that warehouse. Well, I'll see him next time.
Right. Yeah.
And then my other question about the montage was, Tej says earlier he wants to start a auto body shop with the money, right?
Yeah.
But they got to lay low. So him being smart, what does he call the auto body shop? Tej.
Also, didn't he own an auto body shop? We
Yeah.
talked about it being the greatest located garage in the history of garages on the water, where you can have jet ski races out back while you're working on cars. I was so confused. I was like, didn't he own that? Did he just work that? Did he lease it?
I thought the exact same thing. Yeah, maybe he didn't know. Maybe he just worked there. Is that
Maybe.
possible?
I
Because
guess
the
so.
manager wanted to open his own place.
Yeah.
Probably. That's what they would tell
was
us,
funny.
I think, to make it work. Yeah. Well, Trey, I mean, same question to those guys. What do you think of the old switcheroo and then them going all their separate ways, if you have anything to add to that?
I think they do a great job of hiding it. There's no way to know in the moment how they do the switch until they run it back and they show what actually happened under the bridge. Because, I mean,
Right.
they do show, like, the garbage truck, like, passing away, sort
Yeah.
of, right? And then they all go underneath the bridge. They've got, I guess, Han and Roman are trailing in their cop cars. They all split up. You don't know anything about it until they unveil that they've made off in the old Ocean's 11 1-2. Switch it out just like in Ocean's 11, to be quite
Yeah,
honest.
exactly.
But they hide it so well. Just like in Ocean's 11, they hide it. You don't know how they're getting away with it. You know they're getting away with it at some point. So I thought it was super clever. But I am a little unsure how Hobbs would be able to get the safe open out on the freeway or whatever.
yeah.
We just saw a lot of effort put into figuring out how they're going to possibly crack this. Giselle had to put her body on the line and get creeped on by Reyes to get this handprint thing. It just like falls open when they're
Yeah,
it's
I
just
mean, did it just break open after what it had gone through, I guess? Is that what we're
Yeah,
led to
maybe
believe?
so. The latch is loose or something like that. Which, lucky for Dom and Brian, it didn't creak open 3 minutes earlier. That's the other thing. Like, if Hobbs decides, yeah, this deal is void. These guys stole the money. They're out of here. I got a chance to track them down. Like, they're what, 6 blocks away?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. they're so
Tops,
close.
right? Not much time has passed before he lets them go. It'd be easy to call an audible there, but the way they switch it out, brilliant stuff.
Yeah, and them all leaving the montage. Matt, did you have a favorite of the bunch of what they were, where they were headed or what they were doing with their money that stood out to you?
Well, I guess I'll just go Han and Giselle. Her on his lap, driving the car, and maybe going to Tokyo at some point in the future.
in Germany, right? I guess
Yeah,
where
the
they are.
Autobahn.
Yeah, they're on the
on
Autobahn.
the Autobahn. I have one tip for Han, because remember you were talking about how, JD, I think you were saying, in part of the lore, it's that he used to smoke, and that's why he's eating. And it's confirmed in this movie
Yeah.
that is why. And I guess my question for him is, has he heard of gum? Because that keeps your mouth very occupied with almost 0 calories.
Right?
It's not as cool though, man.
he heard
It's
him
not
go.
as cool.
Not as cool. Definitely on camera, it's not as cool. Just chomping away. Hey, Han, could you keep it down?
This guy loves gum.
We're trying to figure out how to get this vault, man. All I hear is you. Okay, we got a couple more scenes here. Tropical beach. Brian challenges Dom to a final no-stakes race to prove who is the better driver. There's that. And then, I'll just chuck this in here now. Mid-credit scene. Hobbs is given a file by Monica Fuentes. Remember her? That's Eva Mendes. Fuentes, I guess. Concerning the hijack of a military convoy in Berlin, where he discovers, Hobbs does, a recent photo of Dom's former sweaty girlfriend, Letty. Sweaty Letty, who had been presumed dead, who we watched Dom himself figure out the case, break it all down. But I was like, come on. I was a little bit come on, but I also, when we did the podcast, you guys will remember, I was like, I thought early in that movie, like, I don't think she's dead. I think there's something else going on here. So I feel like I maybe nailed this. I mean, we're going to find out because, well, she's obviously alive and can't wait to see how she gets back in. But I think I may have called it in watching it. Like there was a switcheroo there or something like that, or a faking of a death. But anyway, those are the 2 final scenes, and that is Fast 5. So we took a lot longer than we normally do there to go through the movie. So we're going to make this a lot faster than we even normally do. JD, your favorite scene, car, or quote from Fast 5?
Well, I mentioned that my favorite scene is the one we didn't see, which was the race. That I was very, very happy
Right.
that we didn't see that. I did actually have a favorite car. For once, I have a favorite car, and I'm going to show it to you now.
Okay.
This is not the car, but this is the same sort of car. This is what Brian and Mia drove to Rio de Janeiro, and I think he's driving it around. It is the 1971 Nissan Skyline GTR Hakasuka model. This car is badass.
Yeah.
I just loved it. I don't know we don't see it racing or anything. He's just driving around in it, but goddamn, I love this car.
That's a Nissan Skyline?
It's a 1971's Nissan Skyline GTR.
Brian loves a Skyline. I didn't know it was a classic, though. I thought
Yeah.
it was all 90s.
Well, yeah.
The archives.
And I have a favorite. It's not a favorite quote, but I do love, as a super nerd, that Han's alias is Hans Solo.
I know.
Oh, very
I
good.
know.
I did not notice that.
With Seoul as in Seoul, Korea, and then OH. Just awesome little tip of the hat to Star Wars from Justin Lin or whoever the production designers are. Terrible alias. I mean, if you're going to have an alias, you should probably go with a different first name, but
Harrison Solo. In that scene, JD, I thought there might have been another Easter egg when, like, Han's face pops up, then I forget whose, maybe Giselle's face pops up, and then Ludacris's face pops up. Mm-hmm. And when Ludacris's face pops up, Hobbs says, they can change their names, but they can't change their faces. Do you think that's a reference to Ludacris being Chris Bridges? Yeah, that's how deep I went.
Oh,
That's
and then the ultimate switcheroo happens under a bridge.
Cool. Ooh. Now, I even went so far as to look at how Ludacris is credited in Fast 5. He's credited as Chris, quote, Ludacris Bridges. And then I was like, oh, maybe in the first one he's credited as just Ludacris, but it's the same. So, it's probably not. What I just said, probably not.
Okay. Well, Matt, let's go to you next. Favorite scene, favorite car, favorite quote. All 3, just one of them, whatever you want.
I'll give them to you super quick.
Yep.
Favorite scene is the vault set piece.
Yep.
Favorite car is the real MVP, the Mac MR, which is the vault switching truck.
Okay.
Without that truck, you got nothing.
Yeah.
And my favorite quote was the Thunderwear. So I'll switch it up for another quote that we didn't talk about that I want to bring it up solely so you could tell me what it means when they're explaining to Tyrese how much money they're going to steal and how much they're each going to get. He says, 11 million sounds like a whole lot of vaginal activity to me. What?
I've got that in my furious part.
What does it mean?
It means I'm getting laid a lot, dog.
Yeah, I think that's all it means.
Oh. Okay. So $11 million. Okay. I guess vaginal activity. Okay.
Brutal line.
Okay. But,
Sounds like a lot of vaginal activity to me. They give Roman some brutal lines.
You can pay for a lot of IVF.
Trey, before we get to the Furious, we already know that's on your list. What about the Fast, your favorite parts?
We got 3 top tier scenes over the course of the franchise in this movie, no doubt. The train heist is great right off the beginning. Brian outside of the train, he jumps to the car, they jump to the lake. One of the best Brian stunts in the entire franchise. Probably it's up there with maybe the first movie where he's trying to get Vince off the, he's hanging off the thing, he's on top of the car. It's up there with that. And I think they needed to do something special for Brian in this one pretty early on, because the big set piece in 4 is driving through the tunnel a second time. It's like not very exciting. So they gave Brian something exciting to do, and I think Paul Walker crushes it in this one. The gang getting back together scene and them meeting up in the warehouse is really great. And of course, the safe chase is one of the pinnacles of Fast and Furious stunts and set pieces. So the nod to Ocean's 11, the ripoff, whatever you want to call it. Those 3 scenes, I think, are some of the best that we see the entire time, and definitely my favorite in this movie.
It's good. I agree with a lot of what you guys are saying in terms of favorite scenes there. I will add, I don't think we talked about this scene, where we have Dom and Brian talking about their childhood, really, what they grew up, their situations, and sort of like... it caught me by surprise. I just would have expected that Dom grew up in a horrible family environment and thus leaned into being all about family and like that's most important. But he's actually the opposite. Isn't he just like saying like my dad was the best?
Yeah.
He was the greatest. Everybody loved him. And it's Brian who's saying like, oh, I didn't even know his dad and stuff like that. I thought that was, again, a little backstory building for some of these guys. I'm with you. Brian was amazing in the train scene. I feel like he disappears as this movie goes on. He's not all that in it. And that's, I think, a big part of The Rock, of course, like taking over a lot of the screen time and eating it up and him and Dom's like head-to-head stuff. But, I did love that. I love that jump scene. I just keep thinking of that one scene where they are floating off of the car.
Steadying themselves.
It looks so cool. Apparently, Paul Walker did a lot of his own stunts, too. Like a lot of the parkour stuff when he's running around.
Did Vin Diesel do that stunt where he's treading water?
No, they had to bring in a stunt double. One of my favorite quotes, a tiny one, just because I was like, wow, they slipped it in. Anytime a movie or TV show, we get an enhance it. And we got one in this from The Rock. Enhance it.
A great point, because she's like, oh, we enhance, but their faces are covered. And then The Rock's like, use the facial recognition software.
Yeah.
Well, you don't see their faces, Hobbs, so I don't know why the facial recognition software is going to help, but it does. So
it does. Cool. It somehow works. Yeah. So that's what I got in my, and I did have lots of flying punches from Brian too, because he was throwing the Superman punch every time he threw a punch. He was really shining there.
I also love a few of Hobbs's badass lines. Make sure you got your Thunderwear or Thunderwear on. A classic. When he's getting debriefed on the entire scenario when he finally lands in Brazil. You want the good news or the bad news? I like my dessert first.
Yep.
Tells him all about it. Give me the damn veggies. This guy can't say anything normal. He finally finds out about Dominic Toretto, and rather than saying, follow him, I want to know everything he does, Hobbs says, if he goes to the John, I want to know how many times he shakes it.
Yeah. That's not a visual you want. Man. Dom at a urinal shaking his dick to get the little pee droplets out. That's not great.
Hobbs, it's me, Nevis. 15 shakes today. 15! Whoa!
Or like 28 wipes. Oh, I didn't say it to watch him take a shit.
I didn't want to know that. Everything except for that. It only speaks in metaphors.
And then it's his crap. I was
going to say, 28 wipes, that must be the guy that shat up the Policia Militaria building.
Okay, Okay, to the furious, dumbest scene, other things you hated. We can even throw in any other random observations here or notes you want to share. JD, back to you.
Yeah, I hated the police car chase, the police car race scene.
Yeah.
I mean, what a stupid thing to do. I mean, I get the fun of having a race and stuff, and let's get our dicks out and measure them, but you are the most wanted people in Rio de Janeiro. You just stole 4 police cars, and now right outside the police station, you're going to have a race through the streets. I mean, are they the stupidest people ever to commit crimes in the world? I mean, it was stuff like that. I mean, I know this is just, I try not to think about things like this, but this I could not get past. It was just... Yeah.
JD, in their defense, those are invisible cars.
I think I read, too, that Tyrese accidentally turned on his police sirens in that scene.
Oh, so that's why he's the only one with
and
them
they
on?
thought it was funny. Like, they were like, his character might do that. Like, might be,
totally.
I guess they're saying dumb enough to do it, or maybe even smart enough. At least it make it seem like they're actual cops. But, so they just left it in, and they edited around it.
Also, they did burn a lot of calories on this scheme, right? Like, on this whole, we gotta have the fastest car to get around these cameras, right?
Yeah.
And then we got to steal invisible cars, but it never came to fruition. It was abandoned like immediately, right?
Yeah.
It never came up. But not that I'm not docking it points for that. I just hated that scene.
Okay. Trey, let's go to you next here. Things you hated. Furious.
Okay, this is stupid to not like, but early on, it's right after Dom and Brian and Mia have split up after Dom has been freed from the transport. They go back to, I guess, Vince's house. They're talking with Vince. They're talking with Vince's girlfriend. His son is there. And, we've got the hints that Mia is pregnant, so she wants to show her motherly instincts, and she says something to Vince's girlfriend, like, oh, let me put your baby down. Goes and takes the baby. Just sets the baby in the crib. Fully clothed. On top of the covers.
Right.
No swaddling?
I know. Laura's like, yeah, that's how you put a baby down. Like, the mom is going to have to redo literally everything.
Right.
This kid's just laying there, fully clothed, like button-down shirt, jeans, getting ready to go to sleep for 12 hours. Like, come on, Mia, you got to step your game up if you're going to be having a baby here pretty soon. I also love all of the, like, scene setting kind of exposition lines we get, like, whatever happens, don't stop the train. There were no fatalities in this. And one of my favorites is when Hobbs is kind of breaking down his plan to catch Dom and Brian, and the guy he's telling it to says, is all this necessary to apprehend 2 men? Great question. This is a great question by this random guy, but then, Hobbs kind of smooths it over. Yeah, it's an undercover agent who knows where everybody's coming from, and a guy who's escaped from prison twice. Maybe you do, but it does seem like you're going a little overboard to catch 2 car thieves over here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Matt, what about you? What made you furious?
Just very quickly, dumbest scene I said was Tyrese in the evidence room. Thing I hated was the Elena and Dom subplot just rammed in there. Just was not buying it.
Is she going to stick around? Is she a part of the
I
the
would
crew
guess
now?
absolutely.
Wow. Okay.
And that's other random observations. Just the scene where the Rock's team gets killed. Very reminiscent of Clear and Present Danger, the scene where they're shooting the RPGs from the roofs. And I just had rewatched that during COVID. So that was another me pointing at the screen. Hey, there you go.
Okay. Well, we will get to ranking this movie and where it falls in the 5 we've watched so far. And then Trey will set us up for Fast and Furious 6. But Matt, our special guest here, you got a little treat in store, a little top 5. Let's do this.
Fast Five, Fast Five, Fast Five. Fast Five, Fast Five, Fast Five. Fast Five, Fast Five, Fast Five. And that is the fastest 5.
Oh my God. You got too much time on your hands. I love it.
So that's Drake.
It's
That's
just
Drake.
a sting. That's it. That's the whole thing. All right, moving on.
Is there an actual list, or you just wanted to put that together?
No. There's an actual list. It's about a concern I have, and the concern is this: that cars, they're not just something that comedians get coffee in. And one of my worries about this podcast is we're appealing to the casuals, to people that don't know a lot about cars. I don't know a lot about cars. You don't know a lot about cars. But really, they're marvels of technology and ingenuity and a marriage of precision engineering and brute force. So I did a lot of research here. And this one is not for the newbies. This one's for the car guys and the car gals, the gearheads, the lug nuts. I'm going to present to you the top 5 parts of a car. Okay? And I think that all the auto lovers out there will agree with my list. Okay? And number 5, wheels. Okay?
Very, very low.
Too
I
low.
feel
Too low.
Yeah.
Too low?
Let's see the rest of the list.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, because they are the only part of the car you can't reinvent. And just trivia question. So, let's suppose there's no spares. How many wheels on a car?
4.
5, the steering wheel.
Oh, right.
So did you guys not even know? You didn't even know there's a steering wheel? You guys don't know anything about cars.
Is it too small?
Yeah, it always whiffs out the window.
Yeah.
Okay, at number 4, we have a 6 CD changer. So
It's where you hide all your chips.
Yeah.
That's right. Why would you have one CD player within arm's reach that you could change based on your whims and mood when you could put 6 CDs in the back of your trunk and never remember which album was in which slot? These are the 6 CDs that I think there was a law. These are 6 CDs that are in every 6 CD changer.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh,
Paul Simon's Graceland, Bonnie Raitt's Nick of Time, Annie Lennox's Diva, Don Henley's The End of the Innocents, Sade's Diamond Life, and Dire Straits' Brothers in Arms. Those are the 6 CDs in every... Now, there's you could have the Eagles' Greatest Hits or Sting's 10 Summoner's Tales, but those are the only 8 options. Okay, number 3, we have power seating. And... No, wait. I'm a micro adjuster. On the road, as I'm moving, I might want to go 1/4 inch forward. I want to get my back straighter. I want to juice the lumbar. Let's say I drove yesterday. So you think, well, the seat should be where you left it. No one else is driving the car. But that's where I wanted the seat yesterday. Today is today. My body is going through subtle changes at all times. As Heraclitus said, you can't sit in the same seat twice. Okay. And kind of like power windows. Because, I could say, power windows were such an improvement on the old crank. But now every window in the car is just a power window. Mm-hmm. But if you're the passenger and you get in a car, unless it's a super fancy car, the passenger seat will have one of those old school things where, the person in the back's like, oh, could you move your seat forward a bit? And you pull the bar up and it goes shunk! And you fly right through the windshield. Right?
Yeah.
That's why power seating is important.
Okay.
How do you feel? I heard you say you like to juice the lumbar. So you like when the inflatable thing, I can kind of move your back forward and your pelvis tilt, kind of mess with that. I always think that's weird. It feels so strange to me. I like a flat lumbar.
No, I like mine protruding.
Oh, God. Bump it up.
Yeah, bump it up.
Do you drive close to the steering wheel? Are you one of these people, or are you way back?
No. I'm pretty close.
I'm pretty close too. Yeah. I'm actually uncomfortably close because my legs hurt. I have longer legs than I have upper body, but I like to feel, for some reason, being closer to the steering wheel makes me feel like I have more control over the car. But then because I'm so close, I'm having to fold my legs in weird ways and my feet in weird ways.
So now you know what a steering wheel is, huh?
Yeah. It's the 5th wheel on a car.
So before I get to number 2, I just want to ask if you've noticed that at dinner parties nowadays, you don't hear wives say anymore my husband, he won't stop and ask for directions. I mean, he'd rather circle and circle than just ask someone where to go. And he won't admit he's lost. I mean... You know why it takes 1 million sperm to fertilize 1 egg? Because they won't stop and ask for directions.
Yeah.
Now,
you don't hear that anymore, you're saying.
You don't hear that anymore.
Yeah.
And I attribute that to number 2 on my list, GPS.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really solved that problem, and it's saved us from having that hacky thing. I mean, that's not even a hack thing you can say about men anymore, really. You know, in the 80s, 90s, I mean, that was the go-to.
Yeah, stubborn.
GPS has saved us.
Yeah, but I will say GPS, I mean, of course it's in a lot of cars. I think it's in my car, but I still use my phone's GPS.
Yeah, well, that's GPS.
Yeah, but it's not a part of the car.
Yeah, I mean, Apple CarPlay, you know, you attach your phone to the car.
Well,
It's also in cars. I mean,
I know, I did say that. I agree.
okay.
That's a luxury option, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. Considering wheels is number 5 and you're counting steering wheel, I think you got to flip 5 and 2. But I wonder, has the complaint now became he won't even use GPS?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he won't even plug it in to figure out where we're going. He thinks he knows where we're going.
Maybe. I haven't heard that complaint, but
I think it's gone to he won't even, like, people use it. That doesn't mean they're good at following GPS.
Ooh.
Now you might get the GPS said turn right, and he won't even listen. You know, he thinks he's got a shortcut.
Yeah,
this prick that I'm married to, this asshole that I'm married to. I don't even want to get to the laundry. He doesn't squeeze the dish rag when he's done. When he's done what he doesn't. Your husband washes the dishes. I can't even get my husband to wash any of the dishes because they're all idiots. Okay, let's get to number one. Which is obvious, but it's the most important part of the car. Air conditioning.
All right.
Because you can't tell me. I don't care how nice your PT Cruiser is. I'm not getting into it in the summer unless it has air conditioning.
Wow.
Without air conditioning, there would be no driving in the summer, which is really the peak, driving time.
Wow, you're going to be in for a rude awakening when you come back to Atlanta. I got a dog, and I like to have those windows down for my dog in the back seat. Nothing makes my Luna happier than having her tongue wagging out the back seat. So, because of that, I'm also one of these weird people, like, if the windows are open, we're not turning on the air conditioning.
Ooh.
Well, if the dog's in the car, I'd prefer the windows are down because I'm allergic.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
By the way, Luna told me that you don't ask for directions and that you think you know better than GPS.
How dare you. Okay.
All right, so I think everyone will agree. Those are the top 5 parts of a car.
It's a solid list, 100%.
Yeah, great.
Those are 5 parts of a car.
Do you think you're a good driver, Matt?
Yes, I think I'm not a precision driver.
Yeah.
But I think I'm a very safe driver.
Yeah.
I'll get you where you need to go. But like, if you're like, we gotta get there super fast, I'm probably not your guy.
Right. That is true. It's like when I just asked you and I said, "Are you a good driver?" You can come at it 2 ways. It's like, one is, are you a safe driver? Because you're a good driver because you're not crashing your car into things. But then the other thing is, a good driver is someone, with a little more gusto, gonna, like a Tassie, like zipping in and out, probably checking his phone while he's driving. That's
not a good driver.
No,
you always
it might
say
be,
Tass
though.
is a good
It is.
driver.
Tass is a good driver. He is. He's a confident driver.
He's definitely a confident driver. He is a good driver, but he takes unnecessary risks. He'll get halfway to the destination before he puts his seatbelt on.
Wow, gee, I don't know. I don't know about that. That's, I think, back in the day. I bet that guy can do a better 3-point turn than you can.
Than me?
3-point turn? What's something hard about a 3-point turn?
No, actually, let me rephrase that. If we're going down a street and we realize, because the GPS says turn around, go the other way, there's no one else I would want driving more than Tass to again turn us around quicker than any of you guys, and myself included.
Your measure for a good driver is being able to turn around. Wow.
and
Tass is also actually really bad with GPS.
I was going to say, you know why he's turning around?
He's not very good at that.
He's not following directions.
Yeah, I think he's a great driver. Tass, if you're listening, you're the best driver right now.
I think he's a great driver too.
Yeah.
But he's always late, so he takes crazy risks.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Like they say that sort of head coach tests in the NFL. They're like, when we're interviewing all these, or like to find out who's the alpha quarterback, we like say, oh, you're all driving. And then the first one to reach for the car keys is like the alpha among them. It's like, oh, even in this group of alphas, I got to drive. So let's say it's this, four of us here plus Tassie and Lee. I would say it's Tassie taking the car keys.
Oh, 100%. It's not me. I don't ever want to drive.
Oh, me neither.
No.
Yeah.
Just seems like such a chore.
Well, I mean, it's the least fun part of a road trip, being the driver, for sure.
Totally.
I'll claim being a bad driver, but there's nothing else really to follow up with that. I like to drive with one hand like Vin Diesel. Maybe that's the problem. That's the key to me. Are you a good driver? How many hands do you use? 2?
Oh.
You're a shitty driver. You can drive with one hand.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
That's why they started putting all these disclaimers at the end of these movies.
Yeah.
For guys like Trey. You shouldn't be trying this. Please don't do this.
Well, I think, Trey, maybe if you're not driving at peak performance, maybe it's because you're always driving in sandals or Birkenstocks. And those are not like... I've tried to drive.
Wearing Vans.
Oh, I hate driving in flip-flops.
I've tried to drive in a sandal, and I was like, never again. I took the sandals off. I was just going raw dog. I was just raw dogging that pedal.
Oh yeah,
I'm always barefoot driving.
Oh,
I
really?
Kick
What?
off those flip flops. Oh yeah, almost every time.
You're
if
a
I'm wearing
horrible
sandals,
driver
for
then.
sure.
Those flip-flops could get stuck back there. Underneath the
Yeah,
pedal.
that's true.
You should
No,
move
yeah,
those.
you got to put them into under the passenger seat.
Can you guys drive a stick?
No, I'm
No,
a horrible
of
driver.
course not. No, I'm terrible.
You're
Yeah,
the
no.
best driver then.
Me and Tass are the best drivers.
Yeah, there you go.
Because
There you
we're the ones that can drive stick.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
Lee
true.
can drive both on the right side of the road and the left side of the road. And
So can I.
and from what I remember, only sometimes forgets where he
Yeah, I was
is.
gonna say it takes him a while to remember what side he's on, but he gets there. Okay, let's start scoring this. Let's rate this bad boy. Roger Ebert gave this film 3 out of 4 stars, praising it as, quote, a skillfully assembled 130 minutes at the movies with actors capable of doing absurd things with straight faces and action sequences that toy idly with the laws of physics, end quote. So that's Roger, but he liked it. 3 out of 4, not bad. We do 1 out of 10 here, though. Let's start with Matt. How you rating Fast 5, Matt, on a scale of 1 to 10?
7.
Okay. You liked it, didn't love it.
It's number 1 on my list. I mean, I don't know if that's
Really?
spoiler. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Take us
Of the
through.
first 5.
I got Fast 5, then I got Tokyo Drift, and the first one tied, and then I got the fourth one, and then the second one, which I will remind you I did not
Didn't
see.
even watch. Yeah, okay. Okay. 7.
Interesting.
Not bad, and at the top of your list, like you said. This is your favorite of the bunch. so
Well,
far.
Trey, am I wrong that this is generally the best one? I haven't seen the other ones, but people
I
consider
think
this the best.
it's the first certified fresh movie in the series. Number 5. I think it's got a 77 on Rotten Tomatoes right now, so kind of in line with your 7 right there. And previously it was like 20s and 30s. Maybe we got a 44 earlier, but yeah, this was the first one that definitely had a little bit of critical backing as well. And I think on Rotten Tomatoes now, I think it might be the second highest score of the series. Maybe number 7 is a little bit higher, but it's also in the 70s. So yeah, this one is pretty well regarded.
Okay, and how do you rate it, Trey?
Easy 10.
Wow.
It's my second 10.
Wow, you're so free and easy with your 10s, man.
Am I? This is only my second 10. The 2 I loved.
That's
the first
2
one.
10s already. We're
out of
not
5.
even halfway through. Or
10
we're
seconds.
You're not even going to get to a single 10, so I've got to bring the extra.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
Yes, I know that. Everybody knows that, JD. I think Justin Lin is in his bag in this one.
Okay.
He's got the perfect mix of action, and I love the character moments because I love all the characters. The villain, I think he's solid. I think Hernan Reyes is actually kind of the most villainous villain we've seen yet. Like, he's committing murders in the first half hour of this movie, which usually it's like a crazy over elaborate torture is what we're seeing from the villains here. Like Carter Verone was famous for ratting him, throw a rat on the guy. Hernan Reyes straight up just killed the guy. He's got all the cops in his pocket. But as a villain, he almost doesn't matter because you're more concerned with how are they going to get this guy's money. I like that the movie has become less about getting found out and more like, how are they going to pull off this crazy thing? They brought everybody back. Dom and Brian, I think they're on point with their chemistry. There's a little bit better balance here. I thought Fast 4 is a Dom movie. We get more Brian in this one, certainly more in the first half.
First part, yeah.
Roman, I mean, they give him some brutal lines for sure, but I still think he's one of the funnier characters in the series. He's been rocketing up my personal list as we've been rewatching these. Han is cool. You get bigger roles for Leo and Santos. I think they're pretty funny in this after basically having no lines in the first one. There's a little bit more for Giselle to do. It's basically Ocean's 11 with cars and explosives. So I love it. Give me a 10.
10. Trey's second 10, so he's got the first movie and then now Fast 5 at the top of his leaderboard. JD, you said right from the jump, you were not the biggest fan of this. Maybe where the direction of the movie's going and just the vibe of it, even though Justin Lin is the producer or the director, and you've said you liked some things like set pieces and stuff like that, but how do you like it?
And I was coming into this podcast, I didn't have a score because I felt like I could get talked into a higher score, and I think I ultimately was.
Okay.
I'm going with a 7 as well, Matt.
Okay.
Which I think I gave to Tokyo Drift, but if I'm ranking them, I'm going Tokyo Drift still number 1. The only strike against Fast 5 is there's just not enough Han, who's still my favorite character. So it goes Tokyo Drift, Fast 5, The Fast and the Furious, Fast 4, Fast and Furious, and Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah.
Which I think is going to remain at the bottom of the list, judging by the trajectory we are on. And Trey, there's going to be a 10. I feel like I got a 10 in me. I'm confident. I feel like I'm acclimating myself to the world and the universe and the vibe of these, and I feel like there's a surprise coming. I'm hoping there's a surprise coming.
You're going to have to be suspending a lot of disbelief, JD, but sounds like you owe me a 10-star movie.
Oh.
10-star movie.
This is by far the best movie we've watched so far. Like, I mean, I know they're all linked, and that's part of the fun of this one when they all came back. Like we said, oh my God, yes, they're all back together. It's going to be great. But just look at it separately, even though it was a bit longer. I think it was still too long, though this podcast is hilariously long too. It's just better. It's better than the first one, I even think. Big part because The Rock's in it, and he just takes it up a whole other notch. I was surprised by the little switcheroo at the end. It got me. I thought it was funny to see them go their separate ways and we get that, and some comedy. Yeah, there's some cringe lines, and they do give a lot of them to Tyrese. You said it. You're like, why would they write that? It's like the guy is a funny guy. You don't have to make these stupid lines. But overall, I was entertained. Volume was cranked. Lights were off. And
wait, so the most important question to me is, have you converted to watching movies like a normal person with the lights off and the volume up?
No way.
What's the advantage of doing it your way?
You're hurting your eyes, man.
Oh,
Turn
come
the light on. Jesus. And I'm a great driver.
Does everyone here disagree with you? Just a straw poll? JD and Trey?
I disagree. Although I do like the lights dimmed. I don't like them completely off. I don't like the only light source being the TV, but
yeah.
I do like the lights dimmed, theater-esque, you know.
Okay.
I have a little exit sign that I light up just to add to the ambiance.
I crumble some popcorn under my feet.
No, Matt pays for someone to come over to his house while he's watching a movie and pour a little Coke on his back.
I pay people to come whisper around me so I can be like, God, this is why I never come to the cinema.
This is why I never come to my living room.
I won't watch a movie if the floor isn't a little bit sticky, but usually not a problem. For me, I only go full darkness for the most special of occasions, you know, like a finale of a TV series or something like that. Because then, I don't know, once you turn them off, you're like, oh, we're watching a movie here. We're really getting into it. I'm more along the lines of JD, where dark, but I still got to be able to walk around the house and do something.
Fast 5 does not deserve an all lights out, setup. A dim, sure. A living room side lamp, yeah, okay, just one. I like this movie though, and I think I'm going to score it my highest. I'm not going 10. It is not the perfect movie, but give me an 8.5. Which is, I believe, 1 full point more than I gave the original movie, and maybe Tokyo Drift 2, which we were all pretty high on that. This has been my favorite so far. I think it's just going to get stupider and sillier as it goes on. But if there's more Rock going, I guess is he just going to be a part of the squad now? Like, this is where I'm like, he's never going to be against them. I guess he's going to be with them. how does that change the dynamic of this team?
Well, in the cutscene at the end, he's still hunting them, so...
He's still hunting them. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But then I know there's a guy named Shaw coming around somewhere. That's a brother, I think. Oh, boy. Anyway, we'll save that for the next one or whenever he shows up. And yeah, set us up or lead us into movie number 6, Fast and Furious 6, Trey. What can we expect here? Of course, the twist is Letty is still alive. I guess that's going to be the driving plot point of the next one.
That's right, Skeets. Letty is back. Or is she? She is. But is she still family? There's only one way to find out. Racing, stealing, and blowing shit up. But Letty isn't the only fast star who makes a comeback, and cars aren't the only thing these lads are driving anymore. Fast 5 up the ante on the action, and Fast 6 takes steps that make this even more wild. Like you're saying, Skeets, it kind of feels like we've got as much as we can out of the cars in this franchise, right? There's another 5 movies still. There's another 5 movies, so you got to find some other things besides cars.
And now you saying this whole, like, you're leaving these little Letty breadcrumbs here. So she's
Letty
obviously
Sweaty bready Letty.
she's alive, but you're alluding to that. Like she's done something that's gonna piss off Dom, which then leads me to believe this cop that he's now in love with is gonna have a fight scene with Letty here, or something like that. JD. All right, are we going to Berlin?
Fast 6, is that where that takes place?
I don't know.
I probably should have looked.
I can't remember where they said. I think that's where
They said she was in Berlin, but who knows if that's
who knows if that's where
I
she
think
is.
we're going to London. Yeah, we're going to London, because if I'm not mistaken, this was the one that was filmed. It must have been filmed during 2012 Olympics, because remember, Vin Diesel showed up at the Team USA gold medal game and gives the thumbs up. And I think it was when he was filming this, Fast 6, over in London.
Wow.
But that's got a pretty solid score on Rotten Tomatoes. Like I said, 77 for Fast 5, 71 for Fast 6. So we're in the meat of the lineup right here for sure.
Okay, as we start to wrap this up, Matteo, give us your best Vin Diesel doing a British accent where he says, "This is England" or "This is London."
Bruv. Mate. Bobby's. This. Isn't. No, what? This.
Oh, yeah. How about this? Yeah. All right. This is England.
Okay, that's fine. I hope we get it. In Fast and Furious 6. Matteo, thank you so much for joining us here for the last 2.5 hours, and for putting in the work, watching all those movies before and listening to the podcast to join us here.
Yes, as I told you earlier in the summer, I said, hey, I know you guys are going on vacation and stuff. If you need someone to hop on to anything, let me know. And I said that, and then you made me watch 5 movies.
We didn't make you.
Well, you're right.
You chose to.
You're right.
You chose
But
to.
you got to put in the work. Put in the work.
Well, we appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me, though, and good luck on your quest to watch these next 5.
Oh, you're out after this? This is it for you?
Well, wow, I got every time?
Well, I mean...
The Rock didn't leave after one movie.
Okay, we'll talk off mic. We'll talk off mic.
All right.
Okay, we may have...
Might end up with
Sucked
Tommy
him
Lee
in.
Jones instead. I'd love to hear Tommy Lee Jones's 5 favorite parts of a car.
Well, if they start,
Number 3, a badge holder. Gotta have a place to put my badge. Always got one.
if they start driving other vehicles, like boats, for instance, I could do top 5 parts of a boat.
That's true.
Interesting.
No AC on a boat.
I hope to have you back.
No AC on a great to take a dog on a boat. A man's got to have a dog on a boat, said Joel Myers once.
That's right. Guys, keep your questions coming for Fast Friends. Email them in nodunks@theathletic.com. Put Fast Friends in the subject header there. Follow us on Twitter. Tweet at us at NoDunksInc. Leave your comments below the video on YouTube. I know a lot of you are doing that with these shows. We really appreciate it, so keep doing that. And if you haven't, subscribe to No Dunks on YouTube. And leave us that 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcast if that's where you download and listen to the show. All right. We will see you guys next week for Fast and Furious 6. Matty O may or may not be back. You'll just have to tune in then to find out whether he's here. Take care, everybody.